See Willow.
Hello everyone, welcome to tonight's episode of Critical Role, where a bunch of us nerdy-ass voice actors sit around and play Dungeons and Dragons and say inappropriate things to me before the camera starts. Anyway, we have back in person our illustrious rogue Vax. Happy to have you back. Let's go and get our announcements quickly so we can hop into the game because we have a lot to discuss, lots of things to see, lots of places to go. First and foremost, if we can give an awesome shout out to our sponsor, Loot Crate. Once again, been awesome for the show. They have their theme this month. Sam, do you want to say a thing or two?
The theme this month is Sam. It's an odd theme. It's all shirts that I've worn. No, the theme this month for Loot Crate is the anti-hero.
Oh, God.
That's part of the Loot Crate theme and the Lootware theme. Not just the box, but the bag as well. But you know what I love?
What do you love, Sam?
We love Sam.
I love toys. I love socks. I love shirts. I love posters. I love collectibles. I love pins. I love boxes. And I love deals. And you can get all of those things in combination if you get a subscription to Loot Crate. If you use lootcrate.com/ that's a / critical role, you will be instantly shown a showcase of all the Loot Crate offerings, and you'll get 3, not 1. Not 2, a little less than 4, but $3 off a monthly subscription, and that can really add up.
It's just the first month. It's just $3 off the very first month.
Well, that's not as good. But let's be real, it's still pretty good.
Where'd you get that great t-shirt you're wearing?
I'm the best at advertising. Goodbye, Loot Crate. $3 off the first month is great, though. It's still great. It's still a good intro. It's essentially like getting I don't know. I'm done.
It's free $3
It's great.
just from
It gets
writing
you in,
words.
and once you're in, you don't
want to get out.
And they got
That's
your
right.
stuff.
It's
You got
okay.
your t-shirt from Luke Crate.
Oh, I'm wearing a Loot Crate t-shirt
Voltron,
right now. It fits.
Defender of
It
the-
makes me look strong and handsome.
It's true. It's true. And that $3 can buy you a 6-inch sandwich at an undisclosed location where
That's
sandwiches
right.
can be purchased by artisans.
Yes.
Not our sponsor.
Thank you so much, Sam.
Sure, I did.
Thank you.
I did really good.
You did great, Sam. That was
job,
wonderful.
good job.
Taliesin, you're handling it next week.
Okay.
All right. Next announcement. 2 weeks from now, the first Thursday of September, I myself, Marisha, and Taliesin will be out of town. We'll be in the middle of the desert. However, the rest of the crew here will be playing a one-shot game, dungeon mastered by our wonderful, recently proven skilled dungeon master here, Liam O'Brien.
I'm all grown up.
Somehow in the canon world of Exandria. So we'll see how that plays out for you guys. I'm really excited to see what you pull together, man.
I have something very delightful planned.
So that'll be fun. So look forward to that in a couple weeks. We'll be thinking of you guys while we're not here, but watch this guy be evil. It's gonna be great. Anything else anyone wants to discuss?
I would like to announce that I am so goddamn happy to be back in this room.
Yeah.
Yay!
Back in the pilot chair.
Well,
Wait a second.
wait a minute.
Pilot chair.
For Vex.
Powder chair.
Just don't think about it too much.
Yeah. Can I also point out today that the official World of Warcraft Twitter made a Critical Role joke?
Is that true?
Is that true?
Yeah.
Yes.
Someone sent them a piece of fan art that had Jaina and Illidan
Oh, I
talking.
saw that art. It's great.
And
Yeah.
and the Critical Role or the response tweet from World of Warcraft was the Legion is coming, like something like the Legion's coming towards you. How do you want to do this? And I was like, that made me happy.
Life is weird.
All right, so let's go ahead and dive into tonight's episode of Chaos and Heroic Whim.
What's gonna happen?
Out here,
How long have we been gone?
we dive into tonight's episode of Critical Role. Welcome back. So, last we left off, Vox Machina and their search for the vestiges of divergence to gain artifacts power enough to rival, hopefully, the power of the Chroma Conclave, a group of chromatic dragons that have been terrorizing the countryside of Taldore. The party had just finished their journey through the Feywild, a strange, magically overgrown realm of fey creatures, illusion, and apparently corrupt tree bros.
Tree bros.
After a fight with this long, mentally disturbed fey, heartbroken and driven to vengeance and soiling the land around him, you defeated him and took from him the bow Fenthras, of which you've been seeking your vestige, Vex.
That's right. That's right.
I'll check that off.
You then gathered hands, and through the magical capabilities of Keyleth, the druid of the Ereshari, you managed to plane shift the rest of the party back to Whitestone itself. Speaking of which,
No.
Oh wow. Why are you rolling
Already?
Oh, I know why.
dear
He's
God.
figuring it out.
How long have
All
we
right.
been gone?
and I also need
Where are we ending?
Sam,
What?
sorry, Scanlan,
No, I know.
Percy, and Grog to roll wisdom saving throws.
Yeah.
What did we do?
Hey,
I'm
What
so
did I do? I know. I feel.
We're too
We
pretty.
all deserve it. We know we
Too
do.
pretty.
Got the right blood.
Not great.
That was terrible. I have a thing called resolve, and I have one usage of it left. May I use it?
We could reroll a saving throw?
Yes.
Yeah, you may.
Okay.
Why
Would
is
this
this
be
happening?
magic,
That's
Matt?
not much better. T.
That's double.
God damn it.
It's a magical effect, but
Okay.
We're in trouble.
What?
okay.
Oh no.
If it's not magic, then I have an 11.
Okay.
Oh
Guys,
no.
drama needs conflict.
8.
No!
6.
Oh my god! So
Goddamn!
What?
All right.
the
All right.
I'm so
So-
excited.
Please don't get left behind.
No, as the portal shifts
our own show.
close behind you, you all step out into the center of the Whitestone city square. You can see behind you the sun tree where you guys left originally. It is midday. Clouds are high in the sky. Little breaks where you can see beams of sunlight coming through. It looks like there's a darker rainstorm coming probably in the next half day or so off in the distant northwest. And there are townspeople now looking about at the group of you guys. Keyleth, Scanlan, Vex, and Vax returning. You kind of, your mind feels a little fuzzy, but overall, nothing seems to have affected you. You know, you're glad to be back. Percy and Grog, you are very confused how you got here, and not quite sure why nothing has happened since you gathered here as friends. Yes.
We have. Are we, so do we just have a straight piece of missing time? Are we still waiting to go to the Feywild?
As far as you guys
Okay,
know
just
right now,
checking.
you guys.
You never
still
were
waiting.
there.
Never even went.
That's horrible for Percy.
All right.
Wanted to go your whole fucking life.
I'm ready to go.
What?
Boy.
How long does the spell take?
Oh boy.
Yeah, do we have to wait long? 'Cause
I know.
I have like the pee, you know, where like I can go seek pee. Like
I
can
did. I
pee
feel
first?
fine now.
Like ready to go to the
We did.
to the actual castle? What?
We did done it.
We've done what?
Feywild.
Just brought us back. We're back. We're back.
We're back from.
We just got
Feywild.
back.
You're a
from the Feywild.
terrible liar.
Yeah, no.
That's true, but it's irrelevant. We just. The fuck are you talking about?
What are you talking about?
Oh no.
Does the name Garmelie ring a bell?
No. What,
Just remember we went. Does that mean I lose my title?
no, should it?
Maybe you can work it out.
Oh no.
You titled Vexalia?
I did what?
Oh no!
You gave Vexalia a title in your Whitestone kingdom. She was the Duchess of some hut.
Can someone who can't successfully
Baroness-
lie to me please explain to me
Lady
what's going
Vexalia,
on?
Baroness of the Third House of Whitestone, Grand Mistress of the Grey Hunt.
How do you know about the Grey Hunt?
I don't know anything about the Grey Hunt, but it's written down on a piece of paper you gave me, Percy.
Is it written on a piece of paper?
It is written on a piece of paper.
That I actually threw out because I fixed up my notes, so I don't know. Piece of paper in this piece.
What a dickhorn. You did not
Did he-
throw out the
Why
paper.
write
Did
your
he
title?
Did Percy
I
write
wrote it down, right?
I wanted to
Why did you throw that away? Fucking.
So this is how I know you're lying, because if I had written that down, you wouldn't have thrown it away.
It's right
That's
here.
ridiculous.
I found it. It's right here in this.
Don't even fucking
Mother
start.
bitch.
Are you certain you're not trying to do comedy right now?
I feel funny. I don't know. I don't what. For the sake of actual sanity, does she actually have the piece of paper that he wrote? And
Did he
handed
write
to-
something down?
I did. I wrote it down.
He
for
wrote,
her
and
handed
I
it
just,
to
it's
her.
in my.
You would
I
have
was
it with
happy.
you.
her
You would
imagination.
definitely have it with
I
you.
would still-
And yeah, she does.
Okay.
It's in her brain.
It's just not in this particular, not in that world binder.
It's not in this realm.
This world.
The binder that Vex carries is much
You know,
better.
like, yeah.
It's got
Keeps
fur
under her arm
and
all the
some
time.
like it's a trapper keeper.
Yeah.
There are
Yeah.
more worlds than these.
It's got a happy kitten on it.
Yeah,
It says,
stay by the
hang
bell.
in there.
Hang in there.
Yeah.
It says life.
Life needs things
Like
to
these
live.
things to live.
I don't know what's so funny about that either. I don't remember any of that.
It grows on
Okay,
you so
okay.
quickly, though.
Wow.
Well,
Wait, so
Did I?
Can you show him the paper, Vex?
Oh, here. It's right. Oh, right here.
Just
And that's
mime
your.
it.
Just-
That's your
okay.
handwriting.
It's
Don't you see it?
standing right in
We
front
were
of you. I don't
committing.
know why.
No,
Shut
that's
up.
fine. I'm happy to commit to this. Why would I? What?
Oh God.
We were in Singorn.
wait, I think I can help. I'm gonna cast Modify Memory on Percy.
Krog's just content, like sitting over here, like completely
Eating
blank.
chicken that he found on
At
the
level
road.
7.
I think it's a pigeon.
It looks like a pigeon.
This is so exciting.
Little goonies.
I've never seen him laugh like that before.
Oh
This
God.
is a way to do it. All right.
You're gonna
All right.
tell him.
I can help you remember, Percy. Just look into my eyes.
I don't want to.
Look into my eyes.
No.
Well, that's getting gift. Okay. Yeah.
No. But wait, are you just gonna make up what he remembers?
So
No.
Percy,
Too late.
I need you to make a wisdom saving.
Yes. Oh, and I'm out of.
What is
out
your
of
spell
resolve.
DC? Is this with the cone?
Think of
Scanlan,
all
is this
those
with the
precious
cone?
moments
Oh,
you had.
with the cone. I want this to
So
work.
Choose to
wisdom
bad.
saving.
You're gonna scream it in his face.
Yes.
Yeah. Wow. 8.
What the fuck?
I don't
All right,
know. That's
so,
twice.
So
Maybe he wants the
Scanlan,
night off.
How do you modify his memory? Because at this level, you can alter the memories of an event that took up to 7 days ago.
What level are you doing?
Level 7.
Now,
But you can only modify 10 minutes of it.
speaking as Liam, remember that this is a man who gave an evil sword. He gave crystal meth to Grog.
Why are you trying to? Instigate?
crystal
So-
meth.
Have
The
fun.
finest crystal
everybody
meth
loved
in
him for
Christendom.
it.
I could change
It was
any memory.
really good.
What was it called?
10 minutes.
What was your title called? There's nothing on this piece of paper.
The Inception.
Lady Vexolia,
She was mistress of the great Grey
Grey
Hunt.
Baroness of the Third House of Whitestone and Grand Mistress
Jesus
of the Grey
Christ.
Hunt.
Baroness of what?
Of the Third House of Whitestone.
And Grand Mistress of the Grey Hunt.
Well, I have no patience for any of this shit.
Whitestone and Grand Mistress
Of,
of
Grey.
I mean,
Grey
of all the 10 minutes to
Hunt.
Hunt.
have him remember, maybe that's not the one.
It's not remembered.
Focus
He's going
on-
to be making it up. I'm not actually going to remember it. He's
Make
going
up
to
something
lie.
wonderful for him. He's wanted to go there his
He
entire
wanted to
life.
go to the Feywild. He
Make
was so
something
looking-
magical.
You don't have time to have this conversation. This is
Fairies
happening
and-
right now.
Yeah.
Go for
He
it.
has
This isn't happening.
3 penises.
Fuck with me. I'm
So-
so excited.
So, Scanlan.
Oh my god. When did we leave? How many days has it been?
It's been close to a week. In the Feywild total, all
Is
night
it only
rest.
I can only modify 10 minutes of time.
Correct.
So I can't build the whole story up.
No.
Okay.
He'll remember 10 minutes that you plug in right now.
Remember?
And by remember,
Or
meaning
have
whatever
faith
you
stuff.
explain.
All right.
He'll remember as truth whatever 10 minutes
This is
he hands him.
fascinating.
This is amazing.
Maybe
This
you
spell is
can
one of my
perception
favorite
it,
spells in
This
the
is
game.
amazing.
You know?
All right. I don't know. I'm going to make him remember that we landed in the Feywild together as a group. It was a beautiful field filled with naked nymphs and fey creatures that all came to him and gave him a wonderful full body massage.
Very uncomfortable. All right. Oh no, but that was tension. Okay. Yes. Oh.
Vex saw him, and he did not want anyone to know about this moment that he had. So, in a fit of panic, he gave her something, anything, a title, a title to keep her confidence. The title was Lady Vexalia, the Baroness of the Third House of Whitestone and Grand Mistress of the Grey Hut. She agreed to keep his secret, and he had a wonderful time before his memory fades.
Oh. Oh my. Wait, that was how we were, but there was, you shouldn't know. Yes, I did this right. I did do this. Yes,
remember.
I do, and we will never discuss why again. But yes, I did do this, and I'm so glad I wrote it down correctly because that was very embarrassing. But I'll have this approved. As long as
Approved?
yes, well, I'm going to make sure. I have to, of course, inform. Yes, that. Yes.
Who's that?
I don't know.
Your new nickname is Jabba.
Jabba.
Yes.
I like it.
It seems the awkward curse of the Feywild has set into a couple of your allies.
The fuck? I apparently am missing an awful lot of time. But this did happen. Yes, okay.
Well, you know, Percival, look at this. Show him the bow. Show him the bow. The bow.
This
Oh,
bow-
that kind of bow.
Oh, Grog. It's really badass. You killed the guy that was holding it. You did.
Me?
Yeah.
Was
So
it,
it's not.
I
Well,
pull
no.
out the piece of the petrified crocodile. We killed this too. This is all that's left of him.
Those are like amazing things.
Is this normal? Would we have known that this is normal for people to lose their memory when they come out of the fucking Feywild?
No, you would have no idea.
We wouldn't have learned any of that in our studies.
I mean,
No.
your studies aren't extensive on the Feywild, and people that may know, partially are suffering from
we
this
would have learned about
circumstance.
There's a
Feywild when we were
petrified
studying the same.
crocodile. What else did you see while we were
To
in
be
this
honest,
magical
my
place?
memory is kind of foggy as well.
No, a little bit, but you guys also weren't heavy studiers.
Yeah, I mean, we
you weren't
wouldn't-
the most studious children.
Did we see
certain
pixies?
things.
I was very
For certain
studious,
things.
He cheated off my test all the time. I was incredibly studious.
Yes, that means I was smart.
Percy, I am so sorry.
No, thank you.
I know
There were
how
pixies?
badly you wanted to go there.
There were pixies.
Your
But here's the
girlfriend
good
was there,
news.
Grog.
My girlfriend.
Your
Now
girlfriend.
that I've been there, we can go
Naked
back
man?
at any time.
Really?
Nala.
We can go back.
Nala.
Grog, did this happen the last time you went to the Feywild?
What?
When you... Do you remember... Okay.
You know, I really don't think we need to worry about Grog so much. I think he's fine.
Thank you.
You killed so many things, Grog.
I did?
You fought...
Oh God, did we get alcohol?
many
Did
people-
someone give us alcohol?
No.
Damn.
But that can happen today.
Yeah,
I
we've
won't
been
be
actually without
very
alcohol.
but
We
I
need to
know.
find Pike.
That's right.
Pike came to
How
help
long have we
us.
been gone for?
Pike was there.
days?
I don't know. It's a bit foggy, but a few days.
Guys, let's just go find a wizard and some alcohol in whichever order.
I'm gonna go file
Where's
this and I'll meet
Gilmore?
you in a moment.
We could talk to him.
Violet?
Alora?
Yes, yes.
Maybe she can help.
Here. I'm going to make sure that that's finalized with the correct spelling.
Baba the Hutt. Not that grand to me. I start walking off towards the castle.
We're in Whitestone.
You're in
yeah?
Whitestone currently, yes.
Midday.
Come on,
All right, let's
All
go.
right.
Scavin, let's go.
We just left there.
Just eat your pigeon and come along, Grog.
Strangely, I am suddenly hungry. Are you suddenly hungry?
Yeah.
We should eat
And
something.
make sure trinkets out of the necklace.
We should drink and eat something.
Yes, I could use a glass of wine.
I could use a carafe of wine.
Trinket looks inside of your face. Kind of nuzzles you as you walk towards the castle.
But if you got a bow and there were pixies and you gave her something, did I get anything? Did I pick up any diseases?
Lots
Did I-
of diseases.
You fought bravely and often.
Just
Proof.
You wielded your weapons strongly and proudly and had many definite physical encounters and were never frozen. And
became
showed
best
your
friends with a
power
werewolf.
and defended us to the best of your ability.
You waded through blood, Grog.
Can I insight check Scanlan?
You can. Scanlan, make a deception check.
6.
Okay, good. 17.
Holy.
Seems legit, and a part of you is disappointed that you can't recall the memory, but even just them speaking of it is almost half of the fun. So
That's pretty great. I like all those things you said.
You were great.
Did I get any new weapons?
And
I won't be able to like pull it out of the bag of holding unless I know what's in there.
That's true.
You didn't.
I'm gonna check my pockets for anything interesting.
I don't have pockets.
Percy, your sketchbook.
My sketchbook? Yes, what about it?
You made sketches the entire time.
Oh my god, I did!
oh my
and
god,
you look through the pages, and there are sketches you don't remember drawing.
Oh, fuck! I mean, oh, fuck.
This is so weird.
you had a lovely time.
This'll do.
We can go back. We'll take a lovely vacation.
No, this and liquor will do.
You used your lightning javelin. You.
As you guys approach,
Yes! You have
That's
that. You have a little
Garmelia.
statue. You have a little statue, Grog.
Oh, that's right. A little statue of a dog.
Yes.
Yeah, the
that
dog.
might that might be magical.
A little statue of a dog.
An onyx statue
Yeah,
of
it's
a
this little
dog.
black statue.
Can I reach into the bag of holding for a onyx statue of a dog?
make an intelligence check.
I'm loving every
I've
moment
seen
of
it. I
this.
can
I
reach
know,
in
we
there.
can-
Yeah,
Yeah,
you
we
got
can
one of you
do
guys
that.
can reach in
Yeah.
there and gather it if you want to. I just want to see if you can.
Oh.
11.
Unfortunately, your lack of imagination is finding it difficult, based on the words you were given, to formulate enough of a solid creative thought.
It's black. Onyx
Honest
means
statue of a hog.
black.
It's an honest statue of a hog.
Doesn't know what onyx is.
Yes,
He's picturing.
He barely knows what a dog is at this point.
I mean, if you want to reach in here and,
right.
you know, reach in my bag.
Oh, oh. Give it.
Sam, you can do this to me too.
And there you have it. The Onyx Mastiff is there before you.
And we can sit here awkward.
Do we know what it is?
It's an onyx mastiff. It's an onyx statuette of a mastiff. If you use an action to speak the command word,
Which we don't know.
I know, and throw the figurine to a point on the ground within 60 feet of you, it becomes a living mastiff for up to 6 hours.
I thought
Was-
the guy told us we'd have to figure it out. Did he whisper in your
Then
ear?
what happens? Does it have?
It was
Elf?
etched on the bottom in Elvish, and I totally understand
Oh,
it.
you read Elvish.
I do.
You're partially Elvish.
It's right there.
Yeah.
Wait, so it's Instadog?
It's Insta
Yeah.
Dog.
And then what does it do? Can it fight?
Things
It
that attack
fights.
things.
It has sight and hearing checks. It bites and it claws just like. Oh no, it just bites.
Farts a lot.
What happens if it gets killed?
It has
God,
an
I'm looking.
It has an intelligence
Under the
of
duration, the
8.
creature. Wait, at the end of
What's
6
your
hours,
intelligence?
6.
Oh my goodness.
the creature reverts to its figurine form. It reverts to a figurine early if it drops to 0 hit points, or if you use action to speak the command word again while touching it. When the creature becomes a figurine again, its property can't be used again for 7 days.
Things to note.
To the bottom part. Come on.
Oh wait.
Massive has an intelligence of 8 and can speak common.
Oh!
Smarter than you.
It's a talking dog.
Yeah.
I wonder if it has a name.
It can also see invisibility.
Triumph.
It can see invisibility.
Oh, it says that.
That's
it can
why
see invisible creatures.
It's a good guard dog. If
And
you,
objects within that range.
I like this.
The
guy.
only important thing on that paper.
So wait, and how long he lasts? He just lives
6
until
hours.
he's done?
6 hours, isn't it?
6 hours.
6 hours.
Wow.
Sorry, I didn't mean to read
Every
all
7
that. And
days.
If
make
you
it
set
not
camp,
interesting.
though. Good sense.
Yeah,
set
he's
camp,
a
it's a
great
dog.
sentry.
Yeah.
But we need to know the
We
magic
can
word.
see. We know it.
It's good doggy.
But we know we know the word already.
Yeah, it's written in Elvish
part
on
of the
it.
enchantment, yeah.
Good dog.
It's good doggy. Can
In
you teach
Elvish.
us how to say that in Elvish?
Don't teach him how to say it in Elvish.
You can say it in common. He understands common.
He understands common, that's
And
fair.
what-
Lorelana. Lorelana.
La 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 la.
Yes. That's
Yeah,
it.
that's it.
That's
Laurent.
it.
La 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 la.
All right, we still walking back to Whitestone.
Yeah.
Grog, I'm sorry.
Let's get the dog out here.
Let's hold off on the dog.
As you guys make your way towards the castle, there's a small group of figures. You see like 3 armored
Scanlan.
Whitestone soldiers with one figure following them. Different outfit, looks to be simple dark blues and grays, dark skin, short dark hair, carrying his crossbow at his side. As you make eyes, you immediately recognize this as Jareth.
Jared!
Jared is coming down and he sees, "Hi, friends, it has been a while. I'm happy to see that you survive. So, it's been a while. Is everyone okay?
A while.
In a while.
It's good
How
to
long?
see.
It's the most better part of a week. Yes.
So it is like Saturday here, right? Time runs the same?
Saturday?
Yes?
Sure, yes? Okay.
Why did you taste the wind?
I don't know why. It's a strange question to ask.
It tastes like Saturday.
More confused
certainly.
by the question, but it's fine. All right.
How are things here?
Well, let's just say better for the time being. And as you look up, what you didn't notice before when you saw the clouds is there's this slight kind of light blue hue to the entire sky.
Excellent.
There is this like very faint shimmer to it, and he goes, "The barrier is now up, which is good. As soon as they finish that, Allura, Drake, and Kima all left to find information on the Green Dragon.
Where?
I did not inquire as to the location, but they said they should be back in the next few days.
Cassandra might know.
She will.
So when did they leave?
3 days ago. They were hoping to get insight on Thordak's current situation. While we amass as many armored folks here as possible and continue to reach out for allies. I think that's just the main goal right now, is to find as many allies as we can. It was interesting to put a stake into this fight.
So you're leading an army?
Well, we're building whoever we can in this vicinity. There's not many, but at the very least to defend in case this ends up falling.
And what's your role in it?
Welcome back. Slight little technical issue there. We're going to roll back a little bit of information, and step into the moment. So, as Jarrett has walked down the steps of Whitestone and began a conversation with Vox Machina about the current situation here, he says how, currently, Allura, Kima, and Drake are off trying to find information on the Green Dragon, Raishan, and trying to discover what best can be done regarding the attack on Thordak with Iman. Here, I am doing the best I can to build what armed forces we have at our disposal, and we're trying to reach out to bring whatever allies are willing to put their stakes into this battle. But yes, this is a monumental task based on my own experience, and I'm doing the best I can, but bear with me.
We have faith in you, Jarrett.
Thank you. I am glad somebody does. Assume, actually, just arrived here. About 2-3 hours ago.
Perfect.
Yes, we were wondering what happened to
in a
him.
while.
As were we. Last we heard from Gilmore that he disappeared with Topher within Iman after the attack.
Yes.
Is Sean still in the city?
Sean is still in the city. I believe he's actually up meeting with Asum and Cassandra right now in the castle.
Let's clean up and head in that direction, then, I'd imagine.
All right.
Certainly. Well, if you need me, I'll be around. Just...
Jared,
Yes.
has there been any eyes on the Green Dragon here recently?
None of us have seen the dragon. None of us know its whereabouts, and attempts to scry have been balked. I do not know.
Okay. Thank you.
It's all right. I believe there is information on the whereabouts of the White.
Do we know where?
I do not know. That is more for what they hold at the castle.
Okay.
Yell loudly if you need me.
Thank you.
Oh, thank you.
It warms my heart to see you all safe.
Same.
He gives a little salute and a smile and continues with the other guards back towards the center of the city. As you guys ascend the steps to Castle Whitestone, you enter the large gates that slowly creak open as you come to the familiar interior. You can hear the voices echoing in the distance from the nearby, what was once the kind of the guest dining area of the castle has now been converted into a war room. And as you approach the outside of the doors, they're partially ajar. On the inside, you can see your sister Cassandra sitting at a table. Gilmore is kind of leaned back, arms crossed, kind of just tugging on the end of his chin goatee. And you see Sikara Asum currently facing towards Cassandra, and they're in mid-conversation right now. As soon as you enter the room, it is good to know that you all survive, as they've told me.
Same to you, assume.
As he turns and looks towards you, you can see the side of his face that is has all the heavy tattoos now bears what appear to be heavy acid scars that have kind of blended the tattoos into the scarring. And it's not a very pretty sight, but he seems to at least be in one piece right now. He still has this thick hooded cloak around his shoulders, and where normally he has a shaved head, some of the hair is growing in areas that can grow hair based on the damage to this side of his face.
What happened to you?
What happened to me is I made out a lot better than many of the people there that day. I'll take this.
So
Come.
sorry.
It's fine. I've had worse. Trust me. Come, sit. And Cassandra sits up. My brother. And she comes up and gives you a big hug and holds you for a second.
Pardon our appearance.
Oh, it's all
That
right.
stench.
Yes.
We smell.
We're covered in that black nastiness, I assume.
I hadn't even
Smell like
noticed,
swamp.
actually.
And you do, and it is. It's. The scent has faded a bit, but you all still are not in the most presentable means. But however, the conversation's dire tone seems to be enough where no one pays much mind to it.
We were successful. I will let the others fill you in with some details, although I do, and I'm going to double check, and I'm going to find the brief letter explaining what I've set up with Dex, although it will not have any of the reason why, but it will have at least the nature of what's been done. And we have acquired, well, Vexalia, if you would.
Another vestige.
As you pull it out, and kind of they all kind of step back, and Gilmore leans forward. Very good.
I would love for you to take a look at it, Sean.
I would love to have a look at it. He takes it as you hand it to him. It actually kind of curls around the back of his hands and kind of whips back into a strong tensile stance, and he kind of. That's weird. He kind of takes it and starts looking over it as Cassandra looks back. I'm glad you're all safe and apparently named. Welcome to Whitestone, Lady Vexalia.
Thank you.
She takes it and folds it, and I'll have this put in the books immediately.
I appreciate your kind generosity.
I'll request more information soon.
We'll see, yes. That might be complicated, but yes.
Anyway.
What's up, Your Highness?
Anyway, have a seat. Soon, please inform them of what you've been telling us. As you all find a seat, he kind of sits there quietly, his eyes darting around in his head, just kind of ruminating over the thoughts and trying to formulate his presentation. He crosses his fingers in front of his face. Things are a bit of a mess within the city. None are allowed to leave. Living under the watch of the Wyvern Guard, hundreds of lizardmen worshippers of Tordak, ever watching the city from above. Some have tried to flee beyond the walls, but ultimately end up being returned at the end of a set of talons and not seen again. Thordak calls a gathering every dusk of the surviving populace. Tens of thousands forced to come and gather at the center of the remnants of the Cloudtop district. He gloats, instills fear in all that beheld this, and offers forgiveness to those who offer fealty to him. All are to cheer his name, applaud his statements, and thank him for his mercy. And those that fail to do so are pulled from the crowd by his lizard men and devoured by the beast himself. Lined up to the slaughter as a show. And there is laughter from the beast that pushed them into his maw. Most of the wealth of the city is now amassed in the ashes of the district, forming a massive wall of shiny junk and coin like a nest around the fucking beast. He's enslaved a number of the greatest sculptors of the city to begin making his likeness in the surrounding stone. They chisel away at the tall, proud walls of the interior, showing his terrible face where once it does not belong. The vain fucker. He's crazy, that one. What's more dangerous than an intelligent dragon than one who's crazy? I've been keeping an eye as best as I can. Thordak gives direct orders to his wife and guard often. Some off to communicate, I presume, with the other members of the Conclave. I know not. I've been stuck within the city. Most survivors stay indoors. I've been working with the Clasp, believe it or not, to shepherd over 1,000 people below the city streets for protection. The lesser of two evils, to be sure, but at the very least, at the moment, they have nothing to gain by working against us at this juncture. Not but 6 hours ago, the Cinder King was roaring in anger. His cries echoing through the streets, the people fell to their knees, thinking this was the end. He stepped up from his volcanic throne and set the majority of his army eastward. I used this distraction to slip into the now unguarded Lyceum and found a port scroll and a sigil for Whitestone before they returned. I came here to see all of you alive, so that's the best news I've had in weeks. No. That's the best I have to bring you about the current state of the city.
That's our home.
It's our home.
What is eastward?
Well, Kylo, Western. Technically here.
Did you bring any other survivors with you?
I was the only one who could make it into Lyceum unseen. Tofor is still back there fighting the good fight. She's working with Shen. They're trying to get as many below ground as possible and out of harm's way.
Good.
And Greyskull Keep?
I haven't seen it. I've been within the city walls.
Did you say Thordak's wife? Did I mishear you?
Wyvern Guard.
Wyvern. I heard
Wife and
as
guards
well.
is what I heard, and I was
That's what I
so
heard as
fucking
well.
confused.
I thought the same.
Wyvern guards.
Sorry.
So wait, his Wyvern guard is
Wife and
often,
guards.
Yeah.
often,
In
He sent a majority of his...
often. That's still being manufacturing shit. Okay.
we don't know where they've been sent, and though we don't know why.
Eastward.
That's all I've seen.
We need to find out where they're going.
I had to use that time to get into the Lyceum. Usually it's too heavily guarded.
No, of course. I'm just making
You've
a
done
list.
so much.
I've done so little. There's more to be done. But the more time that passes, whatever it is they're planning, I'm sure is getting closer to fruition.
Do we have any known whereabouts on the white or the green dragon?
And he looks over and Gilmore sits forward. Kind of sets the bow down. He says, well, first and foremost, this is a glorious piece. I could only hope to eventually create something of its majesty. He hands it over. A bit creepy in ways, but I think you'll make good use of it. Once we completed the barrier and put quite a bit of concentration each day into maintaining it, which Pike has been of a great aid to me. Between the arcane and divine magics, I think we found a fine balance. Hopefully. But anyway, I've been putting the rest of my energies towards trying to procure this information. The green Raishan, as I believe you've told me, eludes my watch, my gaze. There is a lot of protection around that one. I get the sense that of those in the Conclave, she's probably the most trained in my arts.
She's the one that released Thordak, so that wouldn't surprise me.
She's on my shit list.
I think she's on a lot of people's shit lists. Mine as well. The White, however, I know not its name, but I was able to look towards it. I was able to find it sitting amongst a large pile of rock and rubble. It looks like a fallen city, crumbled and destroyed. From what I saw, there were smoldering ruins, toppled landscapes of buildings and temples. Arcane crystals crashed and cracked deep inside a ravine. There the white dragon perched, setting out this slow-rolling winter amongst what seemed to be a shivering horde of dragonborn.
Oh, shit.
What did you just say? What?
Shivering,
Ring
cold.
of Dragonborn.
Amongst a horde of Dragonborn.
Draconia?
What remains of it?
Fuck.
That was days ago.
That's a card we no longer have.
I need to be careful when doing this.
The city was razed?
What I could see, yes.
Did you see any motion, any slaves, any...
Oh, yes, there were many survivors, but they were not in the best of states.
This white dragon, does he bring weather or any sort of change? It's all ice and snow, yeah.
Very essence of each ancient worm, if you will, and carries with it its own element. It slowly transforms the landscape around where it takes up its new den. If it seems to sit atop the remains of the once proud Draconia, then it now falls under the icy grasp of the beast.
And the will of the people there.
Oh, I could not look that deep. My apologies.
Is this just with a simple scrying spell? Okay.
We must be careful. We cannot let Whitestone be discovered.
Yes, and as we've learned before, scrying can alert your position.
At this point in time, you guys hear heavy footsteps heading up from the lower floor of the castle, and you hear two voices shout out, "Lady Cassandra! Lady Cassandra!" And they enter the room real fast. See one man, probably in his mid-20s or so, sweat pouring down his face, his eyes wide. "My lady," and at that point you hear echoing outside of the castle this loud, piercing, shrieking roar.
Oh my god.
Shit balls, mother.
It's distant, but even at that distance, it is loud.
Gilmore, does the screen keep us hidden?
You look back, and even in his most damaged state, Gilmore had an essence of confidence in him. This is a moment where you've never really seen him.
You got toe
go
up
pale.
last time.
Yes. Well, we're about to find out, aren't we?
I'm going outside.
I've run outside too.
I walk up to
I
Sean and slap my hand on his forearm and say, "What about the bow? Is there anything you can tell us about the bow?"
In due time.
I turn
Keep
to
it at the ready.
Cassandra. We need to get all of the citizens underground immediately.
I can't fit everybody.
We can certainly try. She turns to the guard. "Gather everyone we can. Gather," and there's another roar from outside, this time louder still. "Go, now!" And everyone starts rushing down the stairs to the outside of Whitestone Castle.
I go out and I do a skywrite in the sky again. Of
Wait,
it's under. It's. They already know we're here.
No, they don't. They don't.
They
necessarily.
already know we're here. Making pictures in the clouds right above the city. It's fine.
Maybe
I wouldn't skywrite anything right now, Keyleth. That screen could keep us hidden. He could be searching for us right now.
You could.
And what about the citizens?
We'll find another way to alert them. Send out the dog. I don't know.
Are you guys exiting the castle now?
Yeah.
Yes.
All right. As you guys step out into
Do
the
it by
front,
hand? We might not have that much time.
as you step out into the front, kind of open patio area just outside of the castle's main gates, you look up, and that faint blue shimmer that kind of encases, and you can now see it as a kind of a dome, and it comes down around, just directly around the city, closing at the very outskirts of the castle. And you look in the distance as you see what appears to be a few dark shapes growing larger and larger.
They're coming this way.
I need you to go ahead and make a perception check, all of you.
Fuck.
Not bad.
17.
17.
26.
23.
26.
16.
All right. Vax, Keyleth, and Percy. You guys glance off and you can see there are a number of shapes. It looks to be probably 2-3 dozen large winged entities flapping. You can't make out too much of the detail of their form, but you can definitely see some sort of aerial transport with large wings. At the forefront of them, you see one far larger than the rest. And while you can't make out the details at this distance, the one thing you do catch is the bits of sunlight that peek through the clouds, hitting the side of its hide. A bright, piercing white color.
Oh, fucking fuck.
You see it coasting at an angle around the outside of the city, making its way very quickly towards the outskirts of the town.
It's Thordak's army. Assume said himself we're eastward. We're directly in its path. Dragons have true sight. They already know we're here.
But maybe they can't get through this.
Any second we wait longer, more people could die.
Send out the guards.
Send out
The guards are already currently running down, by the way, based on Cassandra's orders, and are making their way towards the city. You can already see people coming out of the streets and kind of looking up, covering their ears. Some people are falling to their knees and crying.
Percy?
Pick them up, keep running until the moment we
They
can.
know we're here. This is not a coincidence. They're not flying by. They know we're here. They know.
You now see the dragon and the flying horde have just come within a mile of the southern portion of the city.
Percy!
Wait!
Do it.
No,
Wait,
don't do it.
They're coming for us.
This is my home, wait.
It is his home.
Percy,
Keep moving.
Can we
you
run
have
down?
5 seconds to come up with a better fucking plan, or I am doing it.
Run down.
Spread out, keep moving, find a position.
Okay, so what order are you guys rushing down then?
What are we looking at from
You
our
guys are
vantage
looking
point?
down at the wide 60-foot earth path that leads down from the base of Castle Whitestone into the city itself.
If I'm towards the front, I'm moving everyone towards the house where we made the tunnel that goes underneath the sun tree.
All right, so you have Percy at the front.
I'll be right behind him.
Okay, Grog's right behind Percy.
I'll follow behind Grog.
We're up above though, or are we on ground level? At this
You guys are
point?
not on ground level. You're above on the grade that leads down into the city
I
itself.
pull out the broom and I get on the broom.
Okay, so you're on the broom.
It's clear they're not deviating path.
It's not clear. We could just be in their way.
He said they're curving.
They're now curving around the outside of the western side.
What are you
of
going
the
to
valley.
write? What are you going to write?
I would throw up the Dorolo crest just like before. It's a good alert sign.
Just people
But people just
know
come out
already.
screaming. They won't know where to go.
The roar
prepared
comes
to
Come
again,
up with a better damn plan.
echoing through the
Don't
valley.
write it. Wait.
You watch as the entire crowd of these entities flies around the west side of the city. Curves past. The shadow of the actual light of the sky, you could see the dark, heavy shadow of the dragon and the wyverns pass over the western side of the city. You can hear distant screams as people begin to freak out at this. It passes over the western side of the city, flying right towards the castle.
Percy?
Arcs past the castle. Over the forest. And the entire cluster slowly flaps down and lands at the southernmost beginning peak of the Alabaster Sierras, just north of the city. The dragon lands.
Alert everyone you
They're
see.
scouting us.
Tell them to get underground. Tell them
They
to
don't see us, but they know we're nearby.
What direction are they looking?
Right now, they're looking in all directions, actually.
We need to get everybody underground while we can.
Yeah, we have time. We have time.
Thank you. Find everyone. Tell them. Silence. We still have the cavern we built underground. Start making it larger.
Okay.
Shall we scatter and spread the word?
Spread the
We
word.
scatter.
Tell everyone to get underground.
Under the
I
tree.
go to the cavern under the sun tree and I start casting Move Earth and I start clearing it as fast as I can.
Okay, it's going to take you a while, but you begin building this
Fast as I
cavern.
can.
More people.
Where are we
Maybe-
telling people to go?
We're scattering. We're just spreading
There's the
word.
inn that was broken. It's got an entrance. They either go there or they go underneath
Under the sun
castle.
tree.
All right.
I can hold 30, 40 people.
She's making
Can
it
we
bigger.
send
I'm
people
making it
under the
bigger.
castle as well?
Okay, under the castle.
Right,
yeah.
so you guys all begin scattering, grabbing everyone you can. The guards are starting to gather people, and as you get the word out, people begin quiet and holding the mouths, and the guards are holding people quite silently. People begin ushering in mass up towards this giant exodus to the city, pouring like a funnel up this walkway to the base of Castle Whitestone. Keyleth, as you're down there, you're just pressing, the dirt itself is just slowly molding its way into this large cavern, pressing downward further and further, and opening and further down and opening.
Yeah, Fallout Cavern style.
Yeah.
Big, lower, bigger,
Big lower,
lower.
big lower.
Yeah.
You get about 3 platforms down before the earth stops responding.
What do you mean?
Fucking ziggurat.
Fucking ziggurat!
The other way.
I go the other way!
But
Okay.
don't empty out the earth too much or it won't support the city.
Fallout style little pods.
All right, you
Spread
start
around.
creating all these various
Little
things, and
pods.
people start ushering in, and it's getting to the point now where so many people, you hear crying children, families pressed in, you're feeling claustrophobic, and the room's getting hotter and hotter the more bodies that are in there. You just keep concentrating and pushing the earth out. You can feel the sweat beads pouring down your face, just concentrating. You hear the crying and sobbing, and people trying to comfort those that are freaking out, and every now and then you hear a distant echoing cry, a scream of a dragon in the distance, and everyone in the room tenses, and the sobbing gets even louder. Then hushed against with a whispering silence. You keep pushing, opening. You guys all begin to gather the rest as you watch, with that final cry, the dragon and the wyverns pick up and swoop towards the center of the valley,
Oh, fuck.
arcing to the west into a wide sweep of the mountain range.
Where's Gilmore?
Gilmore has been just bringing people en masse down to the castle, and you haven't seen him for a number of probably a good 15, 20 minutes or so. The dragons coast around and begin to disappear in the southeastern distance where they came from. You do at this point catch Gilmore, who has actually moved to the top of the castle and is currently arms out, concentrating, pouring all the energy he can into that barrier.
Look like the spell worked.
Good work. Good work.
Gilmore. Good job.
He eventually comes down from the top of the castle, and he's just eye sockets are sunken. You can see he's just pouring his face.
Give them 10 minutes before they can leave.
I'm gonna need a spa day. 'Cause I'm
Just had one. It didn't help.
done.
Where's Pike?
Spike.
You guys go ahead and find Pike. She during this whole period was over by the Temple of Pelor that she was helping kind of write and construct, and going over and finding out where she's been placed. You guys see that she's shepherded probably a good 200 people into that temple, and has been keeping them divinely protected the whole time. As soon as you approach the outside, the people are beginning to slowly disperse back into the city, and Pike walks out looking out to the sky and
Let
locks
people leave
eyes
one
with
part
you.
at a time. Tell them one part at a time.
You're
Leave
back!
one
Runs
part
up and just gives you a big hug. Jumps into your arms at this point, and you catch her and realize how heavy she is with the armor on.
First
back
of all,
down.
first of all,
I drop her because I'm fucking weak.
Guys,
Better safe than sorry.
Hi.
Amazing job with that.
Do we maybe want to camp down here the
That
entire
was-
city tonight?
it's mostly him.
no,
I've never done
no.
something like that before. That was. Everything go okay in the Feywild? I'm sorry, I lost my connection. We had to finish this ritual.
No, it was fine.
of course.
Hi, Pike.
I
Sorry.
don't be. I'm glad you're okay.
Do you remember the Feywild?
Yeah, we were.
Okay, just making sure.
He doesn't remember. Like,
No.
Remember?
Yeah, apparently we went to the Feywild, and everybody remembers it but me and Percy.
Why is that?
I don't know.
It's funnier that way.
Maybe you can look at his head later.
Maybe there's a way to cure it.
I'm just too smart.
She walks up and kind of takes a look at you. Walks up to Grog, has a good look inside of your head. Kind of knocks you in the temple a few times. Like,
What do you see?
It's nothing physical. I'll try a restoration. She would have. Let's see here.
Pike stats.
I was about to say you have an Ashley app. That's
Yeah.
so adorable.
Don't make me any
yeah.
dumber.
Grog.
Can he?
It's not possible.
Alright, she tries greater. She's gonna try greater restoration. Let me check something here real fast.
That was not fun.
No.
Percy, are you sure it's okay for me to let these people out?
We know where they are now,
Yes,
though. We
definitely.
could
We'll have to
follow
rouse
the dragon and attack
Ryan, if they
here we
stay
go.
down there.
from behind.
We'll have to make it more
true.
secure and
I
safe.
think it's gotten quite a bit of ways from us.
So Pike
We have
reaches up.
dogs.
The gauntlets begin to glow, and as she reaches up and touches each side of your temples, your eyes close. And then suddenly you watch as Grog's eyes flash open, and where his pupils and whites of his eyes were, you now see a flash of divine golden orange light. As it fades, You are slammed with a series of memories that were previously taken from you, and you recall every moment in the Feywild.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. You didn't get to kill anything. I'm sorry.
No, you still killed the big bad guy.
Oh, you did. You killed the one thing. Okay, good.
I got petrified!
Yeah, well,
I
Stone.
tried diplomacy!
Sorry.
Never again.
Lesson learned.
Holy shit.
Can you only do it one time a day?
No, I can do it once more.
Oh,
Yeah.
maybe. Well,
No, it's okay, yeah. Percy will remember the nude massage, yeah.
She walks up to Percy.
Think of what he's losing, though.
I'm not losing it.
Potentially.
No, because it doesn't matter.
I
It's
don't
there
know.
anyway.
I don't know.
So you have
That's
both.
Weird.
Yeah.
You have
Oh,
overlap.
that's
have both.
creepy.
So if this was-
Reality and happy fun time.
So,
my God.
so she reaches up and you bend down. She takes her glasses off, kind of hands them to Vex. Reaches up and touches the sides of your temple. Now concentrate. Close your eyes. And there's a burst of warmth towards the front of your lobe, almost like someone's dipping your head into hot water. And with that, there's a smattering of memories that are just rushing into your mind. It takes you a moment. It's your head swims and you have to almost sit down. You almost stumble off your back foot as your brain now has to reorganize those lost moments. 7 days now, immediately restored.
7 days, 10 minutes.
Greater restoration kills modify memory.
Oh.
Oh.
But do I remember having the fake memory, or do I not remember having the fake memory?
You would remember the spell being cast. You remember the fake memory, but you're aware that it's fake.
Okay.
And that it.
And that I did it?
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Just say thank you, Percival.
Did it work?
I give her a big hug.
Yo.
I'm so tired. I'm sorry. I'm going to sit down.
What?
Glasses.
Oh, but they're so fun to look through. All right.
I'll give you a headache.
Guess
She takes
they
the
do.
glasses, and as you're resting, she takes your hand away from your head and puts them back on.
I start slowly releasing people from the pods.
Thank you.
Okay. People begin to emerge, and where once there was this air of tension, fear, and desolate acceptance of the end, there's laughter, there's smiles, and even more tears as people begin to realize they have another day to live.
Can we tell the people as they come out? I know you'll want to celebrate, but please keep it as quiet as possible tonight. We don't know when it could be back.
There's a stillness and a kind of a slow understanding and nodding, and while everyone kind of takes in the information, one young woman, kind of smeared dirt in her chin, dried tears in her cheek, kind of just looks forward and goes, "Thank you. Thank you." And everyone else will start saying, "Thank you, thank you, thank you." The sea of thank yous begin to spread through the crowd immediately in your vicinity.
Don't thank
It's
us.
overwhelming.
Thank Sean Gilmore.
Gilmore and Pike and Laura. And
They all quietly go back to their silence and begin to slowly disperse themselves throughout the city where they were before this incursion happened.
I go up to Percy.
I forgot that Sean was Gilmore's first name.
he was like,
Sean.
Intelligence of 6.
So fucking method. Method man.
Keyleth.
I hope you know that I've never.
Shut up. Shut up. Shut up. Shut up. Thank you.
I hope you know that I was only trying to improve your life with a wonderful, happy memory. And it was mostly true. Oh.
I know where you sleep. People work for me.
Okay. Assume has caught up to you now, as you guys are walking back to the city. You can see himself. He's still eyes to the sky, not truly trusting this quiet. And he just goes, "It seems we haven't any time to lose. What resources do you have to fight back? What have you learned? Please tell me you have better news than I have."
Well, we got a few of these vestiges, so we're a little powered up. But we're not quite sure what their full abilities are. I mean, it's significant, but we think they do more. We're just not sure how much.
What
to learn more.
more
Can
do you
I?
need?
Fly up in the air while this conversation is going on.
Sure.
Don't go too high.
Not too high.
I don't know where the thing ends.
No, I know. I want to go to the very top where I see the shimmer.
Okay, and it's a squat shimmer. It's not a full dome. It's like a very extended ovular type
Games.
dome.
Okay, but it's high enough that
It's high enough
than
where you
the
can get
castle.
about 80 feet up, and you just start to see just enough of a enough detail in the shimmer where you're like, okay, I'm getting kind of close.
Okay. The direction that the dragons went.
Is
Can I? Is this stupid? Can I shoot my oracle arrow
No,
in that direction?
absolutely not.
Why?
Why would you bring attention to us?
It's an arrow.
they're long gone.
They are gone. They have been. The time has passed. There are miles and miles and miles and miles and miles in the
ask
distance
us.
of the speed they
Really
are
far
traveling.
away.
Yeah, we're not.
You're a good shot, but I don't know if you could arc an arrow that far.
Oh
Would she
no,
be
but
able
it's.
to tell
I
which
thought
direction
it was.
they're
Oh, well, I
going?
guess that's true. I thought it was a 10-minute because it's Fenthris. I thought it was a
Can't
long
you just
ass
tell
arrow.
what direction the dragon's in?
Oh
because of
wait,
your-
okay. So the oracle arrow.
You
Is
fire
it
a
like
regular
you fire
arrow.
it and
you
then
can
it shoots somewhere and it sticks there and then I can see through it for 10 minutes?
Correct. Or see through it as it's fired. Just the minute it leaves the bow, you can project your sight through the arrow for up to 10
It
minutes.
can't fly for infinity?
No. It still
That
arcs
makes
like,
sense.
it still arcs like a
dragon,
regular
I
arrow.
kind of foresaw it just going because I thought it was like a special kind of
It's
arrow.
really good for people without flying brooms.
And right?
Yeah.
Cool. Well, then I'm not going to use it
Okay.
because now I understand how it works.
There you go.
What
I've
about?
learned something.
New
today.
items.
What direction were the
track
Wyvern traveling? Were they traveling back, or were
They were
traveling
heading
along?
southeast.
So not back.
South.
They came from the west, right?
Easier.
They
came from-
swooped in from the west, like from that side.
But they originated in the west, and they are currently traveling southeast.
Correct. However, it was Vorugal. It was the white dragon, which, from what Gilmore was saying, has been
from-
roosting over top of the ruins of Draconia.
Which is to the east.
So this
which
was
is to
not the group that
to the-
had
to the
that had
southeast.
set out
No, it's
from Iman.
Draconia is to the southeast.
Oh, it
Why
is.
do I know that?
Here's the map.
Thank you.
We're up here. This is the group that was coming from Iman.
Yeah.
These guys came from somewhere over here. Where's
where's-
Draconia?
Can I cast
should be
primeval
over
awareness and see if it's within
Southeast
6
of
miles of
my
us
son's
right
up
now?
here, southeast.
Still? Or if it's
Down here
farther away
somewhere.
from that?
I thought, but Draconia's on a whole nother continent.
Yeah,
It
it's over
is.
here.
It's over on Wildmouth.
It's, yeah, past the.
I want to see if they're just kind of camping out around us or if they're going away.
Are they going back?
Using for dragons, I assume, right?
Yes.
As-
I'm assuming it's my favored enemy, so
yeah.
that might help.
I would say as part of primeval awareness.
We're like in, if this is the United States, we're like in Maine.
So you're expending a ranger spell slot.
Iman is LA.
Okay.
Yeah, sensing.
Really
At this point, the speed they travel and everything, you have no sense of dragons in that direction.
Okay.
So sad.
There
They're
are,
further than 6 miles away.
yeah, they're like a small, few like kind of minor essences in the northern area, but nothing beyond what you've already sensed in the Alabaster Sierras, and nothing
Okay.
on this level of strength that the draw of an ancient dragon would bring on your radar.
Okay.
To answer your previous question, there are four
Yep.
vestiges left.
That we know of.
There are.
There's a dagger.
There's a few.
There is a cloak.
Left.
There
One,
is
two, three,
armor.
four. There's 5.
There is a
No,
staff.
Wait, there's other objects that
Yeah,
we
four.
haven't.
Yes.
There's four.
All right.
4 left.
We
'Cause
don't need
have
to get all of
Whisper,
them.
Oh,
right?
you're talking about the other
Right.
vestiges.
No,
No,
we don't
Whisper.
have Whisper.
Do we have
So
any
there's
other?
5.
What?
Do we have any other
No.
allies, friends, people who are sworn to aid us? And
Yeah, your parents.
Yeah.
That's right.
Technically,
Kind of.
the elves of
Singorn.
Singorn are
Maybe.
building an army.
Strong maybe. Strong maybe.
However, who knows if they'll actually come through.
The werewolves could be called
I think
upon.
they would understand it would do them well to help what is a threat to all of us.
You would think.
One werewolf has vowed allegiance to us.
In the Feywild.
He's
Yeah,
in another
yeah.
plane of existence, which I don't know if that's a problem. or
Your
Not going to
herd
count on that
could
one.
potentially be helping us, maybe?
It's not as ridiculous as you
Yes.
would think. Yes.
Your former palsies.
Whatever remnants of Draconia,
Wait,
perhaps.
so the last time we saw the main portion, the bulk of Imon's army from Fort Daxia was sent to Singorn before this attack happened.
Yes.
Do we have any knowledge on their whereabouts?
Lots are there.
They're there.
A lot of. Well, we stole all of our guards from Amon.
Are at Fort Dexia?
Did we
in
ask?
Singorn, right? That
No,
did happen.
our
did.
guards aren't in Singorn.
Not our personal guards, but Amon's guards.
No.
You did see quite a few soldiers from Amon there.
In
Oh, we
Singorn.
did?
Yes.
I was distracted.
That's okay. You did have a lot to think about with your dad.
They would not answer our call, but if someone has relations with the clasps, they are always an option for
Also,
manpower.
Well, I've been dealing with them, and they're definitely they're not much of an army, but they're definitely good at acquiring information. And I currently have a few of them trying to find out as much as they can about Thordak.
there's also the Ashari druids, who
This is true.
will definitely want to help our cause.
This is very
It's
true.
good to know. Well, any more that come your way, or any possibilities you have to bring more to our cause, please
There's
do
a
so.
candle maker who might help out. I would put him in the strong maybe category as well.
Don't mention
Yeah,
that
strong
Vex
maybe.
flies.
Good, good. We'll keep tabs on those you found and any possibilities of others, especially those who have, I don't know, more of these vestiges that you speak of, or armies at their disposal, big weapons, anything. I'll take anything at this point, really.
There are options, but we need to discuss what happened today. This changes some things.
Yeah, we need more offense, less defense. I don't
We-
know if that'll work a second time.
You're mad. We need defense. This is not a site of a victory. This is a site of our end. We need bunkers.
Yeah, we need to move everyone underground the
Sure,
same way
sure.
we did in Amon.
So they
I could
told.
spend more time fleshing out and reinforcing the bunkers to make them.
We'll discuss a warning system to get people underground.
But when the dragon just came here just now, they saw nothing, correct? They saw.
We don't know.
We hope.
We need to talk
But
to...
is there a way that we can spread false rumors that the city of Whitestone has been magically moved to another plane or something?
That's
Yes.
wonderful.
Yes.
That's smart.
Some way of getting that word to Draconia, or I don't know.
Putting the word out that we're other places than we are. Putting the sound of
Assume things from this.
Can't we drop it into the clasps pipeline?
I can do that, definitely. We can find a way to get that information. There are a number who have sworn allegiance to Thordak, and, some folks who don't see honor, but the necessity to stay alive override any sort of previous friendships.
Best not to mention our name. I don't think we're cool with the clasp after our last meeting.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, they don't like us.
Good to know. I'll look about planting that information. I'll do the best I can in that regard. I've been told that you've already felled another of the Conclave. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Umbrasil,
yes.
dead and gone.
Well, that will certainly stir some attention from them.
Yeah, and if not that, then the message left in there.
They know we did it.
Strange that he had all those wyverns with him, though. Umbrasil had none. He was by himself.
They don't like each other, though. This is some sort of loose partnership.
Yeah, but didn't they say the white one was more like savage, like more
black one.
emotional?
The white one was more vain.
Yeah, the black one, Imbrosil.
Oh, you're right.
Is
The
the
white
one
one is a
that's-
hunter. It's primal. Hates others. You're right.
Maybe the army is going to head to. No, we could be so lucky if it was on this way to attack it.
Black ones like torture, right? That's
Yeah,
their
they like
thing?
to make
They
people
like torture
suffer.
and stuff. Yeah,
Yeah.
I
suffer.
feel like there should be trading cards.
Yeah.
So the white one's like Predator.
Shut up! There's notes somewhere in here.
I'd just be warned.
Flip.
Fell one dragon. That might make them nervous. Fell another, and that's almost certain to bring retaliation.
We were hoping to distract them.
Well, the next worm you decide to fell will probably be the start of this war.
Can we ask, why would it bring retaliation? How would they know it was us?
We did sign.
We
card.
say, yeah, we
Maybe
left
the
our
next one we
name.
can sign as somebody
What
else.
if we don't sign it?
Even if we don't, they probably are going to get much more vindictive overall.
And just as much as we can scry on them, they can scry on us. I'm sure they've been watching us.
Really?
I don't think they know where we are. I think they know when we travel. I just don't think they know
Wait
where
a second. I
Has any
take
of the living
issue.
ones seen you?
Have any what?
Any of the living ones seen you and
We
know
killed
you
the
for who you
first
are?
one. There were a bunch of jewels in the wall. We saw a bunch
Thordak's
of
seen us.
idols.
Thordak.
They've all seen us.
He,
haven't
he
they?
did
seen
not know
us.
our name, but he
Who
has seen
attacked?
us.
Raishon saw us, the white one saw
The white
us,
one
all
saw
of them
us,
saw us.
yes.
Then it is very possible.
Wait a second. You just said no one knew we were here. None of them knew we were here.
Here.
Why? They just attacked here, and we just got back here.
They didn't.
Well, that Gilmore was scrying on them. It took 3 days for him to get here.
They attacked Western.
That's how he knew.
Oh.
Because Gilmore was scrying on them.
Yes.
Yes.
Got it. Not because we have a leak.
We probably do, and we should assume we have a leak.
I'm
gonna blame Sean.
Is he Sean now? Is
Voice go. You're more than welcome to.
Sorry.
He's like sitting down, kind of wiping his brow with this really fine scarf.
I mean, judging based on what happened in Amman, we know that they have an insider. We just don't know who yet.
They do? We know this?
I would assume that there's nothing we say that they don't know at this
They
point.
struck during a political...
During the council meeting.
So somebody
very
has to be
convenient.
telling them things.
Someone probably very high up.
It could be Raishan
there?
taking the form of a human again, for all we know.
Who was there and lived besides us?
Gilmore.
Jarrett catches up, by the way. He's like, is everyone all right?
I have a
Yes.
proposal. Yes.
That's good.
How are the citizens? Did you get everyone in there?
Everyone seems to be safe and accounted for. There was a lot of fear, of course, but elation. Whatever you did, and he kind of looks at you and looks at Sean. Whatever you did, keep doing it, please.
Inside check, Jared.
Make an insight check.
It's not.
7.
It's not.
It's hard to read that fella. Slippery.
Can I do an insight check on assume?
You may?
What are you doing?
Oh, that was a luck.
First one was good anyway.
Oh, you're just hoping? First one was really
damn,
good.
yeah, I can choose whichever one I want. 21.
21.
Oh.
About Jared? You're inciting Jared?
oh,
Who
no.
are you inciting?
Seeker assume.
Perhaps we should not have assumed.
Hey, Travis.
Hey, Travis, how you
How's
doing?
it you're on this side of the table?
Well, I was looking for a loot crate. Have you guys seen any loot crates?
Well, I've
around
got
here?
some of the
Well, you
great
know.
swag that you can get in a loot crate. Why, this shirt came in one last week.
Yeah,
That's
and I
incredible.
wore it
How do I
last
get
week.
one of those?
You go to lootcrate.com/critical role to see your selection, and then if you sign up, you get $3 off the first month, which is a really good deal.
Ironically, when we played the game at home, this is exactly what we do. What he was whispering.
Totally.
Sam, who are you talking to? You're facing a potted plant.
I'm talking to Seeker Assume.
Oh.
He's a big fanboy.
Gilmore stands up and, kind of catches the edge of Vax's shoulder.
Hey.
All right, so, what's your plan? What's the next order of business?
Get you a drink, I think.
A drink would be great.
I think we talk and drink.
Yes, we need to talk about barricading underground, making it more secure.
Come. I could definitely use that right now. You guys are led into the nearest kind of open, looks to be an unused tavern, but there are drinks, ale, things that are at the ready. There isn't much commerce currently happening in the city, since right now everything's in survival mode, so there's no exchange of money. It's just you guys are presented with drinks. The lanterns are lit on the inside from other villagers that are just happy to help. And a central table is set where you all sit around and kind of quietly have a few sips.
While everyone's sitting, can I just pull them over to a corner for a second?
Yeah.
What are you doing, personally?
Me?
Yeah.
Wondrous, I'm doing great. I'm exhausted.
Sean,
But I'll be
really?
fine.
You sure?
Yes, I'm fine.
Right.
It's been a long time since I put my energy and talents towards anything beyond making shiny things. Feels kind of nice to be helping others.
Well, I feel like we're seeing your true talents.
I'm at my wit's end with these. If you want to see true talents, you should ask Allure to show you what she's capable of when she gets back.
She is pretty nifty. Well, come on, come have a drink.
And he kind of like leans on you a bit, and you both make it back to the table. The rest of you.
This booze is okay, but grog, I could really use the finest wine I've ever had.
Oh shit, hold on.
Oh, we've got some fancy
I reach into the bag of holding and I grab 5 expensive-ass bottles of wine.
Holla!
Scanlan and I will share one.
Good idea.
Just one bottle between the two.
We don't weigh very much.
No.
I'm involved in this. This is exciting.
You guys scatter the wine amongst your glasses. Drinks are had as you begin to discuss the plan. So,
Pour one for the landlord as well. He's letting us
Yes.
drink our wine in his room.
Assume kind of leans in. All right. So, vestiges, defenses, allies. What's the next plan? What's the next
Well, I have a
point
question.
of order?
If I were to call somewhere a city of brass, where would you think that would be?
Assume goes. I mean, there are cities that use brass in parts of construction in Wildmount. That's as far. And Gilmore leans forward and goes, no, that's in the elemental plane of fire. That's a dangerous, terrible place that you should never go.
We
That's
were
where
only
we'll be.
there once, actually.
Terrible, dangerous places you should never go.
Yeah, we
practically
were in
our
the
middle name
elemental
at
plane
this
of
point.
fire. We were there with
We
old
saw
Kiki.
Thordak there, actually.
Oh, even more of a reason not to go.
Well, he's here now, so fire plane's probably safer.
She's got a very fair point.
Why? Why do you ask, Grog?
Well, look, the
where
plane
one
of
of
the
the
Dawn
vestiges.
Martyr is in a city of brass,
Dawn
but I
Martyr.
don't know what
That would be a great. I bet that sounds something Pike would like.
Draconia is in Wildmount?
Dragonia is in Wildmount, yes.
Right, and so is the big white fuck, right?
Yes.
So why don't we
Any
go
of the
that way?
vestiges? Are any of the vestiges of Wildmount?
The city of brass
know
is
of?
there.
So where else?
Other than the city of
Whereabouts are the
of brass.
vestiges?
I don't know.
The vestiges.
One at
City
the bottom of the
Brass.
sea.
One
The
is in
city of
Marquette.
brass
We're
is in the plane of fire. We've covered that.
It's not in Draconia. It's in the plane of fire.
It is in the city is in the plane of fire.
Correct. Where's Ankarel?
Onkarel is on the continent of what's it called?
Gilmore kind of chuckles himself. On Corel. It's been a while.
I think
And
What's the
kinda
name of the
looks
continent? I suddenly blanked on it. You just said it.
at Marquette.
Marquette. It's on the continent of Marquette.
Marquette is, or on Corel is also where Jared is from, which is kind of where you first heard.
I think we should.
Gilmore kind of smiles.
Hold on.
It's where I grew up, or nearabouts at least.
Where you grew up, Gilmore?
Well, not in the city, a little ways out of it.
You're a Marcation?
Originally, yes, but I've been
Marquetian?
living here most of my life. As soon as I had the opportunity to leave, there's a free plane here in Taldore, and all the shops like it must be. Until they all got destroyed.
Good times. Good
times.
That's fine. I've made the bottom floors too small anyway. More space. Next time.
You ever want to revisit home?
Maybe. Nah. I need to stay here and maintain this.
Yes, you do.
Yes.
If you don't mind.
What about the endless maze of the abyss? That's
What is
another
that?
place that we're supposed to
Also another
go.
plane of existence.
I don't know much about the Abyss, but I know that it's probably the worst place ever.
Abyssal, that's where demons
Worse than
come
the fire
from.
plane?
That's where demons come from.
That's correct.
That's the thing that killed Pike.
Wait, isn't that where the Rakshasa's gonna be?
That's in the nine
Devil.
hells.
The nine
He's
hells.
a devil.
That's
Ironically,
different.
it's somewhere else entirely.
And I think we can table
For a bit.
Meow Mix for a little bit. I think we got another. I mean, it takes a while. Somebody told us it takes a while.
Yeah, it
The
takes
Laura
some
did.
time.
A month.
Yeah,
months and
month-ish.
Months, but we also don't want to wait till.
Not
He
forever.
gets stronger.
Not forever, but maybe in a
But we
range.
get-
Who's got a map?
I've got a map.
Where's the Osmit Sea?
What we should really, before we even think of this, we should see what. I don't think we're going to collect all the vestiges. I don't
I'm
think
just
we have
looking
the
to see if
time.
it's close.
We should see what other
past
vestiges we
Iman.
think are going to be helpful.
It's like the Pacific Ocean.
Which direction is it? Towards Draconia?
No.
Oh.
Draconia is across the Atlantic Ocean in France.
What's the Atlantic? Yes.
But the
Atlantic
Osmond Sea
France.
is where the water Ashari reside, and I have to go there anyway. It's also where Pike is very familiar. I'm pretty
Yeah.
sure that's the sea that she sailed.
In the vestige
Yes.
there is the staff.
Oh, it's
Is
Whisper, right?
Whisper, the blade.
Whisper, the blade.
But look, hey, so I have an idea. Right, someone mentioned that the White Dragon's very vain, very savage.
I let Trinket drink
He's
some
got
of my
like
wine.
all those wyverns around him. That's a little bit of a bitch for us. We're usually good like one dragon on all of us. You got a whole gang worse for us. So what about if we, like, played to his vanity and maybe sent him knocking on one of his conclave brothers' doors? Maybe start a little beef that maybe he's not there.
How do we do that?
I don't know. The idea just popped up. I'm looking for your help for this shit.
It's a good idea.
It's actually a
really
very
so
good
much.
idea.
He's a big picture man.
Yeah.
Here's the detailed
How
fellow.
tired
right
I
here.
am right now.
We're so tired.
I think that we've been thinking about this the wrong way. I think that we've been treating this as a battle, and we have to start treating this like a war, which is a very different creature.
Are we gorillas?
We are absolutely not.
Array.
Can we?
We are.
Wolverines! Sorry.
We need to reinforce this city for not as a final stand, but as a place where there might be survivors. Because if they come here, there's no battle to be fought. It's just a loss.
We need to take it.
Elsewhere.
Yes.
At this point, Jarrett steps out from the back of the room and says, "The more time that goes by, the more chance there is that the war will be fought here on our turf. The faster we move, the better chance we have of bringing it to theirs. So, let us not dilly-dally."
I agree.
Mentioned about having our own mole at one point.
I have a thought on that.
Our own inside man.
Yeah, Scanlan.
I'm not going to volunteer myself as a slave to the dragon.
Seduce the
Keep
dragon.
thinking about it.
You know,
You are a sexy dinosaur.
I'm considering it.
You'll be the Hercules Mulligan of Vox Machina. Hercules Mulligan!
yeah.
I would like to talk to some of the magic users about instilling some sort of, or perhaps helping me instill a non-magical dragon raid signal so that the population knows to be quiet and knows to quietly go underground in the event of the next flyby.
They all look at each other and Gilmore nods. That's actually, I wouldn't say rudimentary, but it's definitely within my skill set.
Is it, would triggering it possibly alert them to our existence? Does it make holding up the shield?
Not if I can maintain it underneath the barrier.
Just checking.
Does the barrier block sound and visuals, or
It should.
and is there any way that we can help you make this barrier more permanent and stronger?
I don't know. This was crafted for this reason. This isn't a long-standing, existing incantation. This was crafted through the minds of Drake Thunderbrand and Allura and myself and Pike's Aid. This is a new magic. It's experimental. And to be perfectly honest, I'm very glad that it succeeded. Because I was
Just guessing.
essentially.
Also, Gilmore, as a sidebar, what about that black ball beneath the city? Has anything been learned of it?
We've been a bit distracted.
That's what I thought.
I would like to
So
put
it's
it to
on pause.
use.
Wait, what?
We're at war.
We can't move
We
it.
can't move it.
We're not going to move it.
We're going
I want to put
inside it.
I want to put the private council table in the room with it.
In the room where it happens?
So they can't scry. So they can't scry into the room. It cancels
so
all
that
magic.
no glamour will survive, no magic will survive, no trick can be allowed.
I love your mind, Percy. Have I told you that? I love your mind. I love it.
Probably a bad sign, but thank you.
No. We'll do that immediately. That sounds like a grand plan. Sim says, not to worry. We'll do that immediately.
We'll just have to
Ooh, I can't wait to go
seek
down.
or assume that it happened.
We should move quickly. We should pick a couple vestiges, move quickly, collect them, start finding more alibis, move quickly. But we should not dally too long.
And I agree, we might not be able to wait to get them all before we start taking on dragons. We might want to do both.
I think Jarrett says, if you're looking to go to the Osmit Sea, you'll probably need a ship of some kind. That's quite a far travel in that distance as well. And the docks on the west coast right now are rather locked down at Iman.
How long is the travel to Marquette?
Travel by boat across the Osmit, maybe about a week and a half. Skyship, maybe half as long.
Airship.
Calm yourself.
Gilmore actually steps in and says, like, Technically, I have a teleportation
So say,
sigil
can we just
outside of the city.
teleport
I can
there?
probably
Yeah.
just get you
That'll
over
do.
there.
That'll do
perfect.
just fine.
Wait,
That's
to
much
go to
better.
where? Marquette?
Walking is really good
for-
for health, though.
Balls, and I have so many Pokemon
And first
cards.
level characters, which we are not.
Hold on. Before we decide that Marquette is the thing.
It's Cabal's Ruin, correct? We're going to search for Cabal's Ruin.
Are we at all just forgetting the fact that Draconia is lying in ruins?
We don't have time.
No, it's not about time. The dragon is sitting on top of Draconia.
So we know where to find him to kill him.
Unless we know how to take on that dragon, we can't save anyone there.
I will
killed
feel better
dragons
with one. Or
before.
will feel better with one or two more vestiges in our pocket.
By the skin of our teeth, Scanlan. By the skin of its gut.
We got lucky.
I like Grog's idea. Is there a way to explore that any further?
Pitting the dragons against each other?
Yes.
I think it's a
No, it's
great idea
brilliant.
worth
Seeker
exploring.
Assume is on it. He said that he was going to.
No, Seeker Assume was going
Seeker
to tell
Assume
them.
is great, but we're the best in the business. I wouldn't leave our plan A to someone not us.
Seeker Assume is telling people that this city has been magicked away.
I'm pretty sure he's
Assume
also
is
right
also
here.
still at the table.
Yeah, he's right there.
I know,
We're
we were just
drunk. We
talking
will
about
talk
it.
We
about
don't want to
who is in third
assume what you're
person
thinking.
as much as we want.
We were just reiterating the things that you told us.
You know what they say when you assume.
That's all right.
We figured you would speak up if you had issue.
Plus, it's really fun to say a name.
Well, look, I mean,
Never heard it
pitting,
before, I assure you.
How far away is Draconia from here, travel-wise?
Well, my usual travel to Wildmount is across the Northern Channel. Here, I'd say you're looking at about 2 weeks travel by ship across the Lucidian Ocean.
or we can always teleport.
If we know how
If
to
there's a
teleport.
teleportation.
I can tree
Stride.
stride. I can always tree
Have you been
stride.
to Draconia?
I can scry
These
and
strides are
look
short
at a
distance.
tree.
You mean travel?
I mean,
transport via plants.
transport via plants, whatever. They're all sound the same. I can scry
Find a
and
tree.
look at a tree, and then we go through that tree.
If there's any trees left.
There's definitely at least.
I'm hoping there's a tree on that continent.
Are we talking though about how scrying is a little dangerous right
Scrying
now?
is a
When
little
you're
dangerous.
scrying on a dragon,
When you're
I
scrying on a
think there's more to be
tree.
gained
yeah,
in
the
other
tree
directions.
doesn't
And I
know
think
it's being
Doesn't
spied on.
Draconia have an army there? If there are any survivors or anyone we can bring back to Watchstone, shouldn't we be accumulating those people?
I think if there's a dragon sitting on top of him, removing people from him is
But
a
we're
poor
sneaky. We're so sneaky.
not
Are
that
we
sneaky.
sneaky?
Yeah, Pug's
When
not
have
even
we
here.
ever been?
You have your memories of the Feywild. Do you remember sloshing around in that black sludge? Very loudly.
Do you remember us walking into the town center to kill Kevdak?
think-
That wasn't sneaky.
No, that was personal.
Grog, I think you're thinking of a battle we can win as opposed to a war we're losing.
Yeah, no, look, I'm not trying to pick a fight with a dragon. I'm just going to make sure that Dragonborn, are there and we can't, help them.
We can help them by killing the dragon.
Dragon, yes. Yes.
Wow.
Assume kind of
Vax
thinks
is
and says-
agreeing with me.
says, actually, that's pretty sound. If you manage to defeat the dragon there, you'll probably gather with survivors and have them join the cause against Iman, if you have means of transporting them. But remember, once a dragon's down,
It's on.
It's on.
Thordeck is in hot pursuit.
thinker.
Yeah.
I
We pull the trigger on one. We pull the trigger on all of them.
I can't believe if we fight one, that means we have to fight.
Right, but listen, again, I'm not trying to kill the white dragon.
What is the white dragon going to do
What are you
when it
trying to do
realizes
to
I
us?
want
its
him to
treasures
go
are gone?
pick a fight with the other dragon.
I think
Yeah, how
we're going
are
to
we
try
gonna
and
do
do
that,
that.
though?
We're working on that as a side venture.
In
what
the
are
meantime-
we going to do there to make that happen?
We can't really stroll up to it and be like,
You guys don't know how to pick a fight? You honestly can't brainstorm
I can pick
one way to pick a fight.
we are very good at picking fights. It's getting the dragons to pick fights on
with
others.
each other.
Yeah.
We could probably
I'll do it.
plan a ruse.
How
Think
would you do
about
it,
it.
Grog?
Y'all heard what that
I
other
would
dragon
go
said about
and
you?
I would talk mad shit to the white dragon on behalf of the green dragon.
Oh,
I
you're
would
right.
rep the green dragon.
Oh
I
my
had
god,
not
Grog,
considered
he
that.
will never see through that.
Yeah. You know what,
That's
Grog?
brilliant.
Grog, you are really strong. That's the end of it. I have nothing else to say.
I'm just saying, I feel like an opportunity's being wasted here.
I think an opportunity is being tabled briefly.
We gotta think
it's a good
about
idea,
it.
Grog.
I don't think this is nearly as time sensitive. Once
On someone else do the thinking.
I mean, breeding hostility between the two is something that could take weeks, which we don't have.
Well, we could start it. Well, it's also something other people can do while we do other things.
Yes. Delegate.
But how? It literally involves going to one dragon and saying, "Hey, did you hear what that other dragon said about you?" That's all I got.
Well, there are other ways to do that. There's you can in traditional warfare you can do things like cause damage to the property of one dragon and leave scant evidence that the other dragon was or one of the dragon's people was somehow responsible. Have a raiding, get Wyvern to raid.
Wait,
near...
hang on. That first thing you said.
Yes, it's the easiest
Hang
level
on.
of. Yes.
I think I might have an idea. Okay, we know the white dragon is vain.
Right?
Right?
We know that?
No.
No.
White
I mean,
dragon
all
is a
dragons
hunter.
to an extent are vain. Like, that's part of their nature, of the chromatics.
White dragon loves the thrill of the hunt.
The
He's
white
a
dragon
hunter.
is the most comparably primal. You know, they're all in like various stages of hyper-intelligent. The white dragon is one that's the most about.
So, do you want to know
most
the honest way
beast-like.
that you would incite if the white dragon is a hunter? The easiest way to incite damage is to sneak into the city and start mauling and killing draconians that are left over and just leaving bodies everywhere that he wasn't responsible for.
Let's not do that.
What?
That is the sort of decisions we're going to start having to
What
make,
if
and I don't
somebody
want to
can
make that
polymorph
one.
into a little green dragon or something?
You went to 11 there
Okay.
on the let's start
And then
continuing the genocide.
I'm
fucks it
saying that
up
we are
as a dragon and leave evidence behind
not
as a
fighting
green
battles
dragon.
anymore. We're fighting
How?
battles.
I've seen the green dragon, the Raishon.
You have seen the dragon.
How big?
Gargantuan. And you cannot polymorph into dragons.
100
You can
feet
only
tall?
transform into beasts.
I understand.
So we know they're territorial.
Fairly large, yeah.
Territorial.
I'd say probably
And again, I was using my first
maybe
example. but
40.
yes.
Raishon is the smallest of the dragons you saw, but even at the smallest of them is still a good 30 feet to the shoulder.
Jesus.
I could do that.
Gather all the paper mache you have in the city.
I could do something. I
plaster.
could do something pretty close to that.
I bet you could do a lot of incredible things.
Well, how about this?
Are you Tony Robbins?
I think this is a conversation that could continue through Marquette. I don't think we're going to come up with the best idea
Well,
tonight.
we need to get something started. Okay, well, here's what we learned.
At dawn.
At dawn, we drink some more. We learned that Thordak is enslaving sculptors to build his image all around Iman. What we have learned is it seems that each of the dragons have kind of picked a city, a domain. Maybe this domain was part of the bargain to join Thordak's cause. Like, you get your own, help me, you get your own city.
A reasonable and astute observation.
So, I bet the White Dragon would be real pissed off if statues of Thordak started popping up around Draconia.
Or the green dragon.
Or the Green Dragon.
Or maybe even
Which is-
statues
I
where
fucking know his name.
Umbrasil.
Voragol? Voragol?
Which
Voragol is
let's
the white
pick a
dragon.
dragon.
Voragol's the white dragon?
Yes.
Oh,
Got it.
Raishon is the
Raishon's the green.
So,
Here's the problem with Here's the problem with goading Voragol the white to find and kill
Raishon.
the green.
Yes.
No one knows where Raishon the green is,
But I bet
including
you-
Voragol.
how do you know Voragol doesn't know?
Because Raishon's the shapeshifter, and no one knows where she is, including Gilmore, who's been scrying for a week to try to find
Yeah,
her.
but the white dragon might have some way to communicate.
They hate each other.
Do we know how they
hate each other.
communicate?
Yes, we do. There were
There were
some
orbs. There were-
baubles in a wall in Krieg's secret
Yeah, but
cave,
now-
and they communicate. Well, I
Probably
assume
the same
something
They
similar.
have other balls,
Yeah,
right?
just into scrying and things of that
Gilmore,
nature.
No,
assume.
the
Do either of
vanity
you
is
have a
necessary.
theory on how they communicate?
Look, Gilmore looks to assume. I have not been to any of their bases. Assume you've been watching Thordak, and he can respect. Well, within his domain in the cloud top, he has apparently an overhead airplane.
Very loud.
Single
be
prop
reduced.
Cessna.
Trust me, it was strange.
Yeah.
He has a number of various spies that are sworn to him that act as his network of information to and from the cloud top and his throne of black glass and molten rock. He does have singular pillars placed around that contain 4 orbs that he would speak into on occasion.
Okay.
And didn't we see something similar in
When we
Umbra
killed
Hills?
the blue.
No,
When we killed the blue.
And when
Yes.
we saw orbs in Umbra Hills?
Yeah, remember that it cracked and it was like, I'm coming for you. And we were like, we don't know what that means. And then we just
That was in
ignored it.
Brimside.
she's
That was
talking
Brimside.
Umbrasil
Yeah.
now.
But
Umbrasil the Black.
Did we see that in the black?
Did
No,
we
I
see
don't
that
remember
in Umbra
They were
Hills?
broken already.
Yeah, they were already shattered.
he shattered them.
Why did he shatter them?
So that
He was
we wouldn't be
rebelling?
able to scry on anyone else.
He'd probably
went
got-
rogue.
Or he
'cause
was pissed.
He was pissed at the other dragons, maybe.
But it's
You've
not
got a
safe
good idea.
it's not safe to assume that they're not in communication. No, we have to assume that they are. I'm so sorry.
All right, it's not like my childhood friend Pervan.
There is a thought. What do we? This is a very good idea. You've got a very good idea.
I love you.
What's the idea?
I said we start planting, like, make statues of Thordak or Raishan in other dragons' territories.
All right.
Ultimately, though, what we need is someone who knows the dragon's weaknesses. We need to know what
that's the
pushes
long
their
game.
buttons.
We know what pushes their buttons.
We need to know what pushes the reset button. Why am I speaking in video game metaphor?
What?
Nothing. Drink.
We
But-
can throw up some statues and cause some havoc, but if they have these orbs that communicate with each other, then the White can just call Thordak and say, "Hey, what's up with these statues?" And
Yes.
Thordak can say, "Oh, it's not me."
Not statues. Idols.
Idols.
He can still
small,
ask.
small images of the white dragon for worship.
You're gambling on jealousy.
He could.
Start hiding them in places. Let him start. If we start seeding them, especially in Amon, as if he is trying to get people to worship him in other cities as well, silently, quietly underneath.
We make T-shirts that say Team Voragol.
Yes, yeah.
We just have to make sure that we don't use
Winter
the
is
stone
coming.
From here.
from here.
Okay.
Smart.
Well, because we know that Thordak is definitely vain.
That's
And this will piss him off. And if he says, "What are you doing?" I don't know anything about it.
Yeah, he would deny it. Of course he would
Of course he
deny
would
it.
deny it.
And we're assuming, that they'll just ask instead of jumping to conclusions and,
I like it.
Even if he jumps to conclusions, even
But we
if he
know that
asks.
Thordak is a total asshole. Sorry. So we know he'll be pissed off, more or less.
His scarred eye twitches for a moment.
and we wonder why people hate us.
Asum kind of leans into the conversation and goes,
Heroes and assholes.
"We have many crafters and artisans that are within the grasp of the clasp as well within Iman. We can begin to have these made and scattered throughout the various offerings brought to the center of the city.
Little shrines hidden in ruins.
Yeah.
I like this.
Team Voragol. Hashtag Team Voragol.
We can make this happen.
We should learn the
You can make
spelling
that happen.
first.
Hashtag
before
Team
we-
Voragol.
Well, I just made it up, I guess.
I still will admit that I would feel comfortable. Cabal's Ruin is one of the vestiges I feel would be, and not just because I
Which
would
one
like
is
to use
Cabal's
it,
Ruin?
but
Cloak.
Is Ankarel and the Osmit Sea kind of in the same area? Can we hit one and then on our way to the other?
The Osmit Sea is in between Taldore and, from your perspective, it's Taldore and Marquette. And the Osmit Sea is what's in between.
so we could do a triple.
So we could do a triple, because I have to get to the water, sorry, at some
No.
point.
And,
during
and
that.
that's very important because we
need them.
we need them on our side.
Between what and what?
Osmit Sea, so it's like over here.
Is between what and who? And who?
Osmit Sea is
Marquette.
between Marquette and Taldore.
Marquette,
Taldor?
We're on Taldore.
Taldore, Marquette, Osmit Sea.
There's a
So
yeah.
Marquette is Japan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Or
more Australia.
Got it. Couldn't? Is this world round? Can we go the other way?
Actually, this world is shaped like a D20, so we're on the flat part at the 5.
No, we can't go
20
the other way.
times larger than
You could eventually get there. It is
Going
round.
and going.
It's Discworld.
It's Discworld.
On top
Would
of
I
the turtle.
know how fast dragons can actually fly? Like if it's a 2-week trip to get to Draconia
from where we are? How fast could
Well, it's
the
a
dragons get back
2 week
there?
via ship,
Okay.
like ocean ship,
Okay, if they were flying, how fast could they get there potentially?
like that flying.
And I'm only saying maybe it's empty, right?
I would say
What is?
Draconia.
Before it flies back.
I'm gonna make some mathematics here, if you'll excuse me.
I'm only saying, like, if they were just here, and we have the.
Oh, we could bamf there right
Bamf
now.
there, check
Right
it out,
now.
and get out before
And
they
try
get
and get
back.
a bunch of people out.
Get people out, do recon, whatever. We hear flapping
some
Plant
away.
some,
seeds.
plant some seeds.
They've probably left a good amount of army there to keep
course.
people under control.
They said the whole
But the
city
main
was under
drag
control.
isn't
But
there.
we'd have to get in and out in a couple
and what
of
would our
hours.
mission be?
Dump a couple of statues.
Hey,
We don't know.
Get as many people out.
let other people do that.
Wait. What about instead of dumping statues, we find these orbs? We find his lair, we find his orbs, and we call Thordak, and we
Jump into
do a
his-
voice.
Do
and
a
we're
free
like,
call.
yo, Thordak, you're a dickhead. I'm gonna come kill you.
Yo, Thordak, your
Or we just
refrigerator
smash
is
them.
running.
Or we just smash him.
I don't know why everyone's so excited by the notion of pissing off the dragons to the point at which that they all come here, but it is a way to go.
They don't know we're here.
They know we're here.
I'm just putting out an opportunity where there is
It's
one.
true.
I think that there's.
few days.
I think it's
It
a.
would take them a few days to get
A
back.
few days. We will have a whole fucking day.
What time is it?
At this point in time, it's mid-afternoon, evening.
Do it.
Just,
have to-
just for
have to
in-
rest.
In, Yes,
I got nothing.
But even
haven't
just for
rested.
Percival, even just for intelligence, even if it was brief, even to see what is going on there.
We have to make sure that we can get out immediately, and we
have to
also
be able
have
to
to
get out.
agree that if
Scanlan.
things start looking too iffy, we run.
I have an idea.
You have the best ideas.
Thank you.
Lay it on me.
Can you steaming us to all look like Lizard Army members
Tomorrow.
tomorrow?
And we'll
Yeah.
look like us, except vaguely like lizard people.
Why not? Why not? Why?
Like you'll be little.
Well, first of all, these lizard,
seeming-
the lizard army, is that different from
Yeah.
wyverns?
Yes.
Yes.
So they're just scaly creepers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can do that.
Yeah, they're the lizard,
Have you seen the
lizardy
lizard people
humanoids.
to know
No,
what
but
they
I'll
look
see
like?
them when we get there.
Okay.
You've come across a few of the lizard folk. They,
Oh, we
they
have.
attacked you in Iman.
Yeah,
they were.
remember we had.
They were on the
they-
wyverns. They're humanoid. They're a little larger than maybe any of your half elf companions or Percy. They're a
Oh,
little
so
bigger.
we're
Didn't we also
about the
fight
right
them?
size.
Yeah.
We fought them on the airship
do
too,
that.
right?
No.
that was dudes
Those are
on
bandits. You fought wyverns.
Bandits,
Those were
We could
halflings.
be lizard people for sure.
What?
We could
be
look
lizard
like wizard
people.
people and lizard people, and it would trick anybody who wasn't a
Just for
dragon.
one day.
Yeah, the dragon.
And if the dragon came, we would be fucked. That would be the end. That would be game over.
All right.
This is a huge risk.
lizard people.
And I will I'm going to go on record as saying I do not think this is the right move.
But what do you think is the right move?
He wants to go to Marquette to find some cloak that may or may not help us in a week.
That will help us. Getting 2 more vestiges, just a little bit more power before starting to play chess again.
Really, the only point of going there would be reconnaissance.
To get
That's
people
it.
out. Yeah.
No fighting.
When else are we gonna know for sure?
There's an ancient dwarven saying, and I'm trying to remember where I heard it, but it goes somewhere along the lines of "It's never a 3-hour tour," and that's my fear.
Yeah, I know an ancient dwarven one that says no risk.
That's it. All right, but
Your mind is a
before-
grandfather clock. You know that.
Thank you.
It's correct twice a day, easily.
If we go, what is our mission?
Thank you.
To get as many
People.
innocents out as we can.
How?
Oh no,
How?
that sounds wonderful, but
we
if
have
we
no
get people
vehicle.
out, they're gonna know something happened.
Yes.
I figured if we find good fighters once again and do our teleport
We can get
thing
Are they-
and get a
13
nice
people
handful.
out, that's it.
But it could be the 13 people that could change the tide.
This is not going to be a fight of 13 people.
We're a fighting group of
We had
7,
a group
and
of
we're pretty
50
damn
Goliaths,
If
and
there
they
were
were all
7 of
killed
us-
instantly.
good. But there might be. But that's what I'm saying. We fight.
Yeah, what if
Plus,
we,
if we're lizard people, the survivors aren't gonna be wanting
They're going to be wondering who we are, first off.
They're going to be afraid of us.
I would only want to go there if we had a distinct plan to disrupt or
What,
trick
communication?
or steal.
Disrupting communications is a great tactic.
I'm
We're
fine with
not
that.
going to be able to disrupt communication.
We can
No,
get
You
we
don't
have
think
the-
we're gonna make it to the jewels and smash
No.
his match?
No.
I don't
we
think that's a
could.
good
I think
idea.
we
I do
could.
not.
And I slice the dragon's throat. I am victorious.
That sounds like a plan. Let's go.
So,
Okay.
what are you guys
Still
doing?
planning.
We're still playing.
Tightening it up, tightening up. We're going to go. What are we going for? We're going to go to
Smash the orb. Smash the orb.
Okay, well, here's something else I want to put into perspective. If I scry and teleport us to the Black Dragon's lair, I can do one more scry, and then I would burn my 7th level spell to get us there again, and then I'd be tapped out on all of my...
So we wouldn't be able to bamf out.
We wouldn't be able to bamf out
and
for
she,
that day.
and she would have no power.
We'd be staying
That's
the
bad,
night.
that's bad, that's bad, that's
But
bad.
I can get us a safe place to stay for the night,
I could,
no matter where we are.
I could not...
But that means this is not a 1 day. This is a 3-day mission.
This is a 3-hour
Well,
tour.
I could not teleport us. It depends on how many times. I got 2 teleports. So I can teleport us there and teleport us out, but we'd be doing it from here.
We teleport to the Black Dragon's lair. We sleep overnight.
Sleep over, yeah.
Teleport in, teleport out. And then sleep overnight. Teleport
we
to
set up the
either
mansion.
to Whitestone or to Maquette.
Yeah,
Okay.
Set up the mansion at
Can you
Umby's
teleport
lair.
today? Or are you
Yeah,
done?
No, I'm well.
You can only, you
I-
can only use that once per day, though, right?
What?
I used
Transport.
plane shift. I didn't
Oh,
use
I
transport
see.
via
I see.
planes.
Yes, that's true.
I can do yes. Wait. No.
That's a high note.
I moved Earth.
Can't do it today.
I
Has to
can't
be
do it
tomorrow.
today. It has to be tomorrow.
Oh, shit.
And if that's the case, it's tomorrow. Then we lose
Lose that time.
that 2-day grace period.
Jeez, love.
Unless we go right now and sleep
And-
overnight in Draconia and
Do
start
it.
first thing in the morning.
And risk a very reasonable reason that they would know where we are.
As far as I know, plane shift can't teleport you on the same plane. It brings you specifically to another plane of existence.
yeah, I'm saying I cast plane shift from the Feywild to here.
Oh,
That's
I
all
see.
she says.
So, yeah.
That's all I'm saying. But I
we-
used that, and that's
So if we go to Draconia tonight, if we want to sleep in the mansion, we can't because I changed his memory.
and you cast your shift,
Fuck.
So,
So
this
we'd
is,
have to sleep
So we'd
out in
have
the
to sleep
open
out.
as lizard people.
No,
No.
No.
No. Too many negatives now.
this is danger zone.
Too many negatives.
we're getting a lot of cons.
Let's
and
I think
not
we
so
need
many
we
pros.
need to sleep anyway because
need to
we're
sleep.
exhausted.
Man, you know, I can find all
Nothing
sorts of
happened tomorrow.
problems with this situation if I look hard enough.
Yes.
Opportunity.
That is so astute. That is one of the. It's 12
Opportunity.
o'clock. My God, he had a thought.
Opportunity.
what
I
were
mean,
you saying?
honestly.
He said if you look
There's
at
a
things, you
dragon's
find
perch,
problems.
and he is vacated, and it will probably never happen again, as far as we know.
I disagree. I think the next time they come to attack and kill us, it will be vacated.
Cool. While they're killing Whitestone because we didn't take advantage of this
Of course, we
moment,
will
then
be
we'll
there
go to
in
Draconia.
Draconia. I agree. I legitimately agree.
Fine, you can
I mean,
do
we can
whatever
sleep in
you
the
want.
We can sleep and
We
wake
have
up in
to
the morning
sleep.
and teleport there.
We do have to sleep
could do that.
regardless. There's no getting
We
around
just have to
sleep.
sleep.
There's also
we
no
can't
guarantee.
fucking go there when we haven't slept, Grog.
Do whatever
We'll
you
all
want.
die.
Do what you
We
want.
can't actually get there right now.
There's also no guarantee that they're going straight back there. Maybe they're
also
heading
true.
somewhere else.
That's also true.
They were heading with an army to somewhere. It's probably not a city they've already conquered.
They were heading southeast,
Southeast is what you saw, yes.
That's where they live.
so they're probably heading back home. It's safe to assume.
Balls. Well, then where'd they come from? What were they doing?
They were coming. They came
We're
here.
fishing.
They were fishing. They thought that we might be here, and they took a quick look around.
They smelled something. They didn't know quite what.
Which is why I don't want to make any more noise around here.
Let's sleep.
I'm gonna go to the barkeep.
There is no barkeep here. This tavern has been opened just for you guys to be served. There's no current owner here. Everyone who helped you open this are yourselves and a
You are
couple
the
of
barkeep.
civilians that were just there.
Is there a civilian waitress?
There is no waitress. I mean, there are a couple civilians outside, but as soon as you guys started talking, all the civilians left the room.
Sir.
Oh, they're
Oh.
so nice.
There's no barmaid at all.
Your nobility is
moment, no.
showing, first of all.
I haven't.
I need.
I had a plan.
I need a young boy.
I was working on. Never mind. I had my plan was
Yes,
ruined.
these white gloves are sullied. I need a new set of white gloves, please.
I have an unseen servant.
They're shooting mittens, and you're so uncooked.
Do you need a servant? I make an unseen servant for him. Command him as you.
There's a wisp of air.
Command him as you see fit.
I had a. Never mind. This is what I get for trying to be nice to anybody. I've learned my lesson.
I tip the unseen servant.
You toss the coin to the ground.
I pounce on it.
You poof into this like weird cluster of air. It's like pushing your beard hair back, and your mouth's kind of with all the air pushing into it as you reach into the unseen servant and grab the coin and pull it out.
Yeah.
Well done.
Well,
you got a goal.
We'll sleep for now. We'll wake up in the morning, and we'll either go in one direction or the other.
Good plan, guys. Good plan.
We suck
We
at
came
this.
up with nothing.
That's so not true. We came up with a lot. We just have to sleep and then make a decision based on what the world looks like in the morning.
Dream about a cloak, Percival. Maybe we can get you a cloak.
Why don't we roll the dice?
Cloak sounds useful.
Yeah.
All right, let's sleep.
All right.
Let's go to the castle.
You guys find your way to the castle.
I'm going to. I know it's just a side. As a side, I want to grab Vex for a quick walk on the way to the castle. I want to go by the cemetery.
Okay.
Has it been worked on, by the way? Oh, well, I suppose I'll find out.
You did
it
say
has.
Vex,
No.
right? You said
Vax.
Vex. You said Vex.
Vax.
Good.
You did say Vex.
Vax.
You did say Vex, but now.
Did say Vax,
Vax.
but you mean Vax.
I've not even been drinking. I've been pretend drinking.
That's true. All right. So you go ahead and grab him. You guys make your way towards this.
Something to show you.
What is it?
You'll like. Well, I don't know if you'll like it. I don't know what you like. I'm going to take him to the cemetery, to the crypt.
Yep.
The title I gave your sister doesn't come with much, but it does come with one, at the moment, tiny plot of land on which a crypt sits. This was the resting place of the father and grandfather and assorted family members of the man you killed the first night we came here.
You want my sister to live in a mausoleum?
No, I want something else to live in a mausoleum. This is actually for you. Open it. I go and I light the two little torches on the side. It should be. This is a very traditional, and it should open. Do you trust me? Good answer. I'll go in first.
Percy enters the building.
I'll follow.
Okay. As you enter the mausoleum, the gentle flickering of torchlight that was lit by Percy shows the interior, though it is low lit, partially in your dark vision does catch you, and what was once a relatively decent mausoleum seems to have been gutted, retrofit, and now you see standing before you is a mostly constructed shrine to the Raven Queen.
I figured it would be a good idea. I've had my fill of gods, but I'm not so foolish to think that we do not need them still. This is here when you need it.
I am having trouble.
Me too. I do not want to die who I am. I would like to live long enough to be someone else. I think you understand that.
I've been really angry at you.
I've been encouraging it.
I don't know if it's entirely fair, but I can't shake it, and I don't know that I'm willing to let go of it yet.
Good. I certainly do not deserve it yet. I don't know if I ever will, but I can't think of anything else to do with my time on Earth right now other than this. I'm finished with gods. They will not help me. Maybe you will.
Percy,
Yes?
I've always liked you. From the beginning, I've always liked you.
I've always liked you too.
You are intelligent and charming and
Thank you.
good in a tight spot.
It's the open spaces where I suffer. Tight spots I feel very good about. It's the open spaces. This is a very tight spot.
I would like to be friends with you again. I just have a condition.
Yes.
My penchant for forgiveness with my sister's welfare is razor thin.
I know. I know.
If you can respect that, then we don't have a problem.
Do you know why I titled your sister?
I have some idea.
She thought she was missing something that, and I use this term loosely, ordinary people. We have a magic we use to convince people that we deserve the things we get. Those of us who are born this way. It was treating her unfairly and limiting her ability to see her world for what it was worth. And it was a simple and easy fix. She is going to wake up one morning, not yet, but soon, and realize that money will not make her happy. And that trying to please that awful father will not make her happy. And the first step in that is realizing that he's weak, and there's no better way to do that than being better titled than your parents.
I don't agree with that line of thinking.
I know. You are not her. And I'm not saying it's the truth, but it is what I believe is in her heart. And I think perhaps that might lift. I will never hurt her. I will never hurt anybody intentionally, especially not you, any more than I already have. And in return, I ask, never take your eyes off me. Never trust me, and that is the best friend that you can be.
I will recommit to that same promise I made.
You can like me. I would love that. But, and in fact, I hope that I can earn your like.
I do like you.
I just never want to earn your trust.
Well, then it's your lucky day.
A gentle title will suit your sister well. I'm leaving.
Percy walks out. You're left alone in the silence and darkness, looking at the small shrine before you.
I'm on board. You have me. Whatever you will. I have something I need to take care of, which you know, and I hope you will help me with it. But I do not take your gift lightly. You have me. Close the door again and head back to town.
Back into town. You guys quietly keep your distance in your walk. Find your way back to the castle, to your respective rooms, and an evening's rest takes you all as comforting as it can be.
If do I hear Vax go to his room?
Oh no.
Are you waiting to hear Vax go to his room?
I'm waiting to hear Vax go to his room.
Oh no. Love it. Love it.
Actually, knowing Vax, you wouldn't hear anything.
That's a perception.
Oh, that's true.
30.
You wait for a long time and no sound comes to your ears.
I go to sleep.
All right. And with that, as you guys rest for the night, we're gonna take a quick bathroom break.
Wow.
We'll be back here in a few minutes. We had a friend come and deliver a gift to Laura, which you can see presented on the table now is a replica that's
Where is it?
Kiki Day made this awesome prop replica of Fenthras.
We have to. I mean, I wish you guys could see it up
Like in
close.
person?
Obviously we're gonna send a picture on
It
Twitter.
came
so
with
you
a
guys can see it.
remote.
But it's got
It
light up.
changes colors.
Freaking! It lights up different colors.
This is designed based on David Rodriguez's concept art for Fenthras. It
It's
looks
got
awesome.
Elvish. It's got Elvish for protector and growth.
That's so badass.
It's
legit.
phenomenal. Did I say that right? It's
It's
protector, not
legit.
protection.
Protector.
Protector, I was right.
She got it right. She got it right.
Protector and growth.
Say what?
That is
Yeah, it's
awesome.
amazing.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Kiki.
That's
Thank
amazing.
you, Kiki.
You're unbelievable.
Should we put it down?
Yeah.
All right, there we go.
Lean it up against the table.
So, as you guys come to consciousness the next morning, the storm has come in now.
By
and
the way,
you
I
all
got
wake-
terrible sleep. I replayed everything Saunders said in my head like 100 times. Just putting that out.
Make a general wisdom saving throw.
You're paralyzed from fear.
I am terrible.
That's Trinket.
Wisdom saving throw? Oh, 12.
12. Okay. Your evening is hard pressed. You do manage to get a full night's sleep. You do not suffer any exhaustion. You do manage to get rest, though the nightmares do come in memory of your last encounter at the end of the Feywild, and Sondor's words still swimming around in your head, finding cracks in your sense of self. But you still are stalwart against the choice you made and the friends that were at your back. And as you all come to consciousness, the sound of rain outside of the castle and against the exterior stone greets you with the morning. You can smell the fresh rain in the air and eventually come down to find breakfast prepared, a meal earned.
Not chicken.
Not chicken, no. This is eggs,
Real food.
fruits, a classic Whitestone breakfast. Chicken is
Thick bacon.
available, but strangely untouched.
Baked beans? Tell me this baked
This
beans.
baked beans,
beans, yeah.
thick, like the thick single slab bacon.
Blood pudding.
Oh, blood pudding.
Just basically an Irish bread.
Mother's blood pudding.
No. There are a few farms here, but most of it comes from the Tern Fields south of the city, but it's good. It's fresh.
The rain is good. It will mean that they'll have an easier time figuring out the water level while they're digging out beneath the sun tree and making sure that it's secure.
Yes.
Ah, I love this weather.
Well, to Marquette or to Draconia? What's it going to be? Should we vote?
An attempt at an object of power or an attempt at friends of power.
Which is which?
Speaking of friends.
Draconia is friends of power.
Speaking of friends, we should probably check up on ours.
That is true. We haven't heard anything, but that is true.
Haven't heard anything out of him.
It's terrifying.
I know.
He's probably okay.
What are we talking about?
Jarrett.
Oh.
Our only friend in Draconia.
I personally would assume that Tiberius would either be on his way to one of the two cities if he was so inclined, and if he had survived, and if he wasn't working in the city itself to keep it functioning.
I mean, he's hard-headed enough. So all of those things, are very true.
And again, we're at war. This is not a battle. We do not win by going to Draconia. We do not win by going to Marrakesh. We win months from now.
You're starting to make less and less sense, Percy.
I know. I'm making perfect sense.
Part of the traditional Whitestone breakfast is
A rambling to
Flag-
road.
Breakfast.
A rambling tirade.
Breakfast needs things to live. Lord, I will never live.
You
it
got
now.
that backwards?
Whitestone continental
For
breakfast.
breakfast.
2 eggs, rambling tirade.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
So vote then.
Vote.
I'm all right with a vote.
All right.
Heads down, thumbs up.
all in favor of going to Marquette to find a vestige that will maybe give us some more power that we need to kill a dragon. Say aye.
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 All in favor of going to Draconia, where we don't really have a great plan, but I think we're gonna go try to fuck up a dragon's lair and maybe rescue like 5 people and probably die as lizard people. Say aye. Aye. So that's 3-2.
That's
4-2.
No, I changed my mind. I want to go to Marquette now.
That's
3-3.
What?
Sorry. Oh shit! I didn't mean to fuck that
hold
up.
on, hold
Trinket,
on.
what's your vote?
Let's see. Let's see if Ashley texts in the next 10 minutes. Hold on.
3 versus 3. Are you going to leave it up to the dice, being a game of D&D?
Let's do it.
yeah.
Sure.
Who's rolling?
I got it. I
Where's
got
that
it.
coin we have?
I know. Oh, it's in my
Wait,
bag.
I think I
it.
have
I have it. I have it right
You have
here.
it right there?
Yeah, here.
You could also do 1 to 10 and 11 to 20.
No, 1 to 20. Ready?
Wait, we're just doing one flip.
Yeah.
No.
Yes.
What?
Yes.
What's
Okay,
wait? What
so-
are
Too
we?
late.
Wait,
What's
what?
flipping?
Okay.
You find out.
20 is Marquette and a 1 is Draconia.
What about all the other numbers?
No.
There's only
it's
2. It's the coin.
A coin.
So 20 Marquette, 1 is Draconia.
Yes.
And any other number, we stay home.
What is it?
We're going
Tiberius?
to Draconia.
We're going to
Here we
Triconia,
go.
and we're going to see if we can find the Tiberius.
All right.
Oh God.
Let it be known, I don't think we should go as lizard people anymore.
Why?
I think we should go as like ravaged draconians.
Cows?
We're going to. I think we should go as Draconians. I
Not
think
lizard people.
that's.
We can make ourselves look like Dragonborn, yeah, with seeming.
I think that's a better plan.
At least that way they'll trust us.
All right.
Citizens, yeah.
I like that.
We don't have to. We don't have to teleport to the middle of nowhere, but we do need. Well, we do need to get farther away. Is there a way to get farther away from here than we are right now before we?
Can we get back to Umberstill's lair? I thought that was a good idea.
Well,
I
we
thought
can
it
Go
was
there and
teleport,
there
teleport.
and back.
We can do well as long as we commit to 24 hours in Draconia, no matter what.
We can go to Umberso's lair, but it'll take an extra day because I can only teleport us so many times.
I think 72 hours is a perfectly reasonable amount of time to dedicate to this prospect.
Pop in, scry, pop into Draconia, look around, next day, pop out.
All right.
I said we could.
Can we do that?
Yep.
If we stop at Umberstill's
I'll keep
lair,
the mansion on tap.
is there anything we can do to run Grog out like a Labrador? I mean, I'm worried about him not getting enough playtime in, and I want him to be
In
ready at
Draconia?
the right moment.
We could
No, in
actually.
the mansion, can you like bamf up anything for him in the
we could.
mansion?
We
let's
could.
not.
No.
What are you talking about?
Not right
Tonight?
now.
No, like.
No, we're gonna go camp somewhere for a day.
No, we're
No,
not.
we're going to
No?
Draconia.
We're going to
Right now.
go to the
Right
Black
now.
Dragon Lair,
Yes.
then go to Draconia, then spend a night there.
I've been traveling with
That's
these
the
fuckers
choice.
for years, and
Okay.
I still don't understand magic.
Hold on a second. We have 2 choices if we're going to Draconia. We can either go to Umberso's lair to scry from there,
That's what I
then
thought we were
teleport
doing.
there, which means we will be staying the night
Yes.
in Draconia.
In Draconia.
Or in
In
Draconia.
Draconia.
Yeah, that sounds right.
Or we go to Draconia right now, blindly, and then I still have
they
a
don't track
spell
us.
to get us out.
But they could
And we
track
don't-
us back here.
you-
That's
But
super
how
dangerous.
can we go there blindly if you don't know where a tree is?
Well, I'd scry.
And then they would know where we are and know our position.
They could theoretically, if we get caught.
We would only scry on a tree. We wouldn't scry
I have a.
on
the
the
I have a compromise.
Actually, can I just throw this out?
Sure.
The only thing that would detect us scrying
Is not there.
is currently flying over the
Right.
ocean.
Which is why
We can scry right now.
let's scry from the giant's cave outside the city.
Let's
It'll
do
still take
that.
a couple hours to get there, though.
A couple hours to get there is fine. It's
easy.
9.
It's
It's
easy.
even. It's 7. It's
6,
morning.
it's 5 o'clock in the morning.
3.
It's
3 a.m. Why are we awake?
so early.
Still drunk somehow after a bit of drinking.
Really good wine.
Not enough water.
We get
went
far
to bed.
enough outside the city, so at
All
the
to
very least.
To the giant's
All right,
lair.
all right, do it
scry.
really fast.
All right,
Yeah,
you guys make your way north of the city, up into the
Alas.
beginning stages of the Alabaster Sierras. You find the abandoned fortress that is there, embedded in the side of the mountain wall. And Keyleth, you are attempting a scrying
Yes.
spell. What are you scrying on?
Okay, I have the map of Draconia. Let me just see if I can scry.
You know what you know in Draconia?
Huh?
Do you know what you know in Draconia? You know Tiberius, and you know his armor, and you know his
We don't
object
know.
personal
we don't
effects.
know he's in.
Draconia.
Draconia.
We may just end up somewhere random.
That's true. But what do you know that is in Draconia?
I know of the things that Tiberius has told us.
Do you know any of his friends or
His house? Did
his
you ever
family?
describe his
Have we
house?
met his
His
family?
father.
We have not met his family.
We
Not
haven't
his
met
family.
him.
You've never been
Met
there.
any of them.
But I don't need to have
You
a
don't need
known
that.
location, right?
All right.
I can just scry in a general area.
You need generally a creature of some kind.
A creature.
What about
of
his
some-
little
Scrying on a
his
creature.
little pet? His
Oh, you're
little-
not scrying on a tree?
Lockheed.
Scrying Lockheed.
But Lockheed would be with
Lockheed has a higher chance of being dead than Tiberius.
I think that's underestimating or overestimating. I don't know. That's a.
It's a coin flip, really.
It's a coin flip, really. He's small.
Well, this could answer our question. If I can't find anybody, then we might be going to Marquette.
That's true.
Go for it then. See what happens.
I guess it's Tiberius then.
All right.
He's all I got. He's all I got. It's got to be someone that I know. It can't be like something I've heard about.
It can be something you've heard about. A person or
Person.
a creature.
A person,
We
a
know
creature,
about his
not a
father.
place.
Can't be a place.
Not necessarily, no.
Can it be a mystic magic object?
Mending.
Wouldn't be a creature of some kind.
Has to be a
about
conscious creature.
Tiberius. We know about Kravana's Stormwind.
Lockheed.
We know about the mending wheel.
Yeah, but it's
But
a
it has to
creature.
be a creature only? Okay.
Fucking just said that's what he
All
just
right.
said.
Fucking magic. Who?
Are we gambling
Matt.
on?
Who's
Are we
Matt?
gambling on Tiberius being there?
You're gonna gamble on Tiberius?
I am gambling on whoever we scry to because they could all be dead.
How many times can you scry?
Theoretically, 4 times.
I've also got a scrying.
Start
I've
with,
got a scrying stone.
Start with the stones.
You have a fucking. That's right. You got that goddamn thing. Give me the stone. Give me the stone.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I think it's
start
traditionally
with,
called rock. Give me
start
the
with
rock.
It's an
Tiberius.
eye. It doesn't go away, right?
No, it's
No.
a scrying eye. You can use it once a day.
Yeah. Let's do this.
Start with Tiberius.
Start with Tiberius. We'll work our way down.
Tiberius.
Okay.
I was gonna bring it out. I don't know.
No, you did wonderfully.
Make fun of me some more.
Yeah, it was just sitting there.
Yeah, you did
Tease me a little bit
so
more.
proud.
You take the object and close your eyes, focusing on the memory and the life essence of Tiberius Stormwind. You project your thoughts into the ether, the nature energies, carry you into the darkness, and there is no response.
No response.
No response. The scry spell finds no target.
All right. She was focusing on. That can mean a lot of things.
You could be on another
Does that,
plane.
yes, does that stretch across the plains?
Does it? Does it?
Generally, it's on the same plane of existence. Yeah.
Okay. What about his
he could
father?
be on a
What about
different
his
plane.
father?
Or Lockheed.
Well, she's...
Or Lockheed would be with.
With
Not
him.
necessarily.
Not necessarily. No.
How many times
Try
have
the
we
dad.
found stray cats?
That's true. Maybe scry on Lockheed.
Can I try it? Is it? Will it expend another spell?
This one will expend a spell. You've
Even though
used.
it lasts
You've used.
for 10 minutes.
This one's dead.
per spell.
So you're burning your own spells.
No, I'm
Yeah.
burning my own spells.
Well, at least you got one for free.
Thanks, Vex.
It makes me very nervous.
Maybe we should do his dad.
That would be who I
Do
would kill
Lockheed.
if I were taking over the city.
You just want to kill everybody.
I do.
I'm gonna try Lockheed.
Lockheed.
His
okay.
dad could be in a place where he's being watched.
Okay, so this time you give the object back to Vex and you sit down and create the ritual space before you. Sitting down in the center of the stone floor of the fortress, and you close your eyes. This time you send out your consciousness once more. The druidic energies carry you an extended distance within but a few moments, and your vision clicks in, and you see, perched against a snow-covered rock on the inside of a ravine, a shivering small green dragonling, alone and partially asleep against the stone. You can see just past it over into this large gaping ravine that is the center of this portion of Wildmount. You can see just scattered rubble covered in ice and snow, and small distant things you can't quite make out with your vision here, just occasionally moving through it.
Can you see any trees?
Do I find any trees?
Make a perception check.
Uh, 19.
19. There's no visible trees in the ravine. Anything that would be living down there has been, from your vision here, obscured by rock, rubble, ruined floating island, and snowfall. You do see, growing out of the side of the rock, not far from where Lockheed is perched, what appears to be one leafless, small branch of a tree that extends out. And as you glance up, there is a very thick tree that is currently jutting out the side of the mountain.
Does it appear to be natural
It does.
and large enough to fit Grog?
Maybe.
Jutting out the side of. Oh, never mind.
Yeah, it is not sitting on ground. It is currently over the ravine.
Right,
You-
kind of.
One of those.
Yeah, one of those. Any other trees? That's the biggest,
all you can,
closest one?
that's all you can make out from this perspective.
So if we jump, we're falling.
How big is the ravine? How deep is it?
From where you can tell right now, from the perspective you can see, just looking at Lockheed, it's probably a good 50-foot fall before you hit a scattering of broken rock, and it eventually comes into a grade to the bottom of the ravine.
Not great.
Not a good option.
You guys have fallen 50 feet and been fine.
Sure, yeah.
Sure.
5d6.
Just take a hit. Someone has feather fall, right? No? No.
Did it look like a natural cavern or like a man-made cavern that Lockheed was in?
From what you can tell, it looks natural.
Like he just found a little cave and is hiding?
Well, it's less of a cave and more he's perched on this little alcove, this little outcropping of rock on the side of the ravine
he's
wall.
on the
What
side
if-
of the ravine.
On the side of the ravine.
Okay, I have an idea. What if we tie the rope to something on this side
Yeah.
and we all go out of the rope really fast
Yeah.
and drop down?
Grog first.
Yeah.
Should you scry one more time for the dad? Because best case scenario, we're in a
Then
weird snowy ravine with no civilization around.
We
have
don't
to-
want to be around any civilization.
Okay.
And also,
And
then
it
that's
would
one
burn
more
another
spell.
spell.
And you did see distant, blurred from your perspective, since the focus when the scry was on Lockheed, you did see movement in very small, distant objects within the snow
They
at the
could
base of the
potentially
ravine.
see us as soon as we come out of the tree.
It's true.
And
Yeah,
we don't know
we'll
who
be
they
far
are.
away.
They could
Ish.
be citizens, they could be creatures. I just saw movement of figures. I didn't see any details.
Seems like a good plan.
This is risky.
This is
No
ridiculous.
matter what we do, it's a shit plan.
It's true. There's only risk at this point. Is this the risk we make, or is this not the risk we make? Grog?
Remember Grog's?
Oh, are we asking for Grog's opinion now?
Only so that we can ignore it.
Grog
You were
gave
the
his
one that was
opinion.
most adamant about us going here.
Now,
was?
with the new data, how do you feel?
Data is
I
information.
think we should take the hint and not go.
But you said
Yeah, but I was picturing like meandering out of a nice, beautiful tree in a forest
it's
out
a
on the
little
edge of the
jump.
town.
It's a little fall. It's fine. We can figure out a
I
way.
am not the most
That's
dainty
it.
of
He
princesses.
created this idea and he's backing
You
off.
told us your famous phrase, all risk. That's what this is.
I do hate to have my own words used against me.
All risk. That's what this is. We are doing all risk.
I mean, I'm down to party. I'm just saying, it was a little different in my head.
I've never known you to be a coward, Grog.
No!
No!
No! Why would you do that?
I'll go first.
Why, Scanlan?
I'll go first.
Really?
You hold my hand and I'll go first.
He can play the fiddle
Yeah, he
very
can.
well.
I'll go. Let's do it.
Can
I'm
we?
ready.
Okay, before we go through, I'm gonna
Maybe
cast
we
Pass
should
Without a Trace
abstain.
on us,
All right.
so we can stealth through the tree. Like that's gonna work.
No, that's a good idea.
I'm gonna look for something very solid. Are there trees around us that we can go through right now?
A short walk. You can get down the base of the forest.
All right, I'm gonna tie the rope off onto a very sturdy thing next to a tree that we're gonna go through.
Okay.
We're gonna repel.
Yes.
Yes.
Portal only closed like after a couple of seconds.
We have 6
Got like
seconds.
6 seconds.
We've all got a hold of the rope and we all go.
We all just go.
6 seconds for all of you to run.
Yeah.
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 Bungee jumping out of a tree.
We are fucking idiots.
This is the
I love
stupidest
it.
thing.
This is so
This
done.
is a terrible plan.
Why are we
I
doing
want to go
so
on
many
record for
stupid
saying I was
things?
against
We're
this
gonna
until
die.
very
We can just
beginning.
leave. We can just leave really
Okay,
quick.
wait,
She's got
can
another
we?
teleport. Yeah.
Okay, wait.
Yeah, but
gotta climb up to
There's
the
no
tree.
tree we can get to.
And there was also no. I didn't see Draconia. I saw the ravine, and it was snowy, so we can assume it's nearby. But I
We
didn't
saw-
see Draconia, did I?
The ravine
You've never
was
seen
Draconia.
Draconia before.
Did I see a city in my scry?
You saw no city.
You saw rubble.
Once again, Lockheed could have flown miles away.
He could have.
At the worst, this is a quick recon mission. We jump back in the tree, we come back. 15 minutes.
Yeah, but those things that were crawling around amongst the dead.
They were far off in the distance.
They weren't that far off, but to be fair, this is what a plan is everything going wrong. So I'm all right with doing this if we're doing this.
All right, sweet, I am too.
Tables have turned.
That's 3 of 6.
All right, fuck it, let's do it.
That's 4 of 6.
All right. So you've affixed the rope to the base of the strongest
I
tree
have.
you can find.
Are we all gonna like tie ourselves to each other?
I
kinda like
cast
we did
pass. No,
before?
that's just dumb.
No,
we're
we're
gonna
just gonna
break our
hold on.
backs. I'm gonna cast pass without a trace on everyone right now because what?
You got a fucking
Vex?
broom. I'm
Vex?
hopping on the broom.
Oh yeah, I'm on the broom and he's on the broom.
Vex, we're going to have the greatest I told you so if we survive this.
All right. So we have Vex and Scanlan on the broom.
Should you make me something teensy?
Oh, this is
Sure, you
such
wanna
a
be something
stupid
teensy?
idea.
No, not yet. We're going to need every spell we need in there. No,
all right,
you're the weight that's
okay,
going to hold the rope
okay,
down. You're going first.
Any other spell prep?
I'm gonna pop my wings out and hook my arms under Kiki's armpits.
Okay.
I'm holding onto the rope because I'm an idiot.
All right.
You
So-
and Grog.
So Grog and Percy holding onto the rope.
Good gods.
This is
I gotta
stupid.
make
This
my
is so stupid.
I hate you all.
We've done so many fucking stupid things.
Somebody
This
play
one's
that
really stupid.
jackass guitar twang.
Vex casts Pass Out a Trace. The shadows reach around and embrace your forms. You become more obscured the further the light is from your body. Keyleth, what are you doing?
I cast transport via plants on that big fatty tree.
Keyleth touches the edge of the tree, the rope of which is affixed to above. The trunk
Everyone ready?
open as the doorway immediately
Go!
comes open.
Go!
Fly through stealthily
You fly through stealthily.
and try to get down to the ground quickly and like hide behind something.
Right. I would like all of you guys to make stealth checks at disadvantage.
Yes, that's awesome.
Oh, that's not too bad.
17.
We have with
Pass without a
With
trace?
pass without his
Yeah,
face.
plus 10 on it.
Oh, so 47.
20.
20.
22.
35.
33.
27.
All right.
Hey!
As Vex and Scanlan scoot through the opening, you coast down, and there is a cluster of rocks, but there's a light snow dust, and you find a snowbank that you guys coast down to. Quickly, you can decide to float above the snowbank. What do you want to do?
No, we get down on the ground and go under.
Okay, so you disappear under the snowbank. It is freezing cold. The wet, immediately thawing snow against you, forming against the seeping, but you are below eye level. Vax and Keyleth, you guys just kind of dart through, you holding her.
Fly through, and then once I see them hit the ground, I'm gonna dive bomb us, and then I'm gonna wrap us in a little wing bubble, and then just roll into the snow.
All right, as you guys come falling out the side of the tree, you see nearby as a tall green tiny dragon gets startled and floats, flies off.
Oh, he flew away.
You guys go coasting, the wings expand for a second. It picks up, and as you hit, moving just past the about 15 feet of jagged rocks that were kind of gathered at the base of the ravine, you scoot over it, the wings fold in around you, and you guys tumble into the snow. Make an acrobatics check with disadvantage, because you're grabbing onto her and are covered in wings.
And you're covered in wings.
I rolled a 15 and a 20, so that would be a 30.
You don't feel the pain, and the wings do cause a significant barrier of impact as well as the snow. As soon as you land, you go into the classic shoulder roll and use the inertia to not rise above the water. You both essentially coast sideways, stopping within the snowbank. From an overhead perspective, you can see a large swath has been carved through it, but from a visual eye range at equal level, you guys still appear to be hidden within the snow. The two of you
Thanks.
jump through and start rappelling down. Grog at the bottom end. Bringing the rope down. It slams shut, the rope cut at the other end as the portal closes.
Hey, man!
Percy, you just make it out as the rope gives away, and it's now Grog and Percy plummeting towards the ground.
I cast a grasping vine to grab Grog.
You don't have the opportunity because this all happens in the period of 6 seconds, and you
right.
guys just
I'm
landed and coasted in the
barrel
snow.
Am I right under Percy?
He's about 5 feet ahead of you, yeah. Okay.
Oh, I'm gonna let that happen.
Well, you both fall. You're cushioning his fall?
Yep.
All right. I need you Make an acrobatics check, just for the hell of it.
I love this game.
13.
13. As soon as you look over your shoulder and see the ground coming, you try and swing your legs underneath to catch you, to kind of slide across, and you begin to. Your feet catch the rock, and you feel the muscles tense, your back gets kind of jammed a little bit, and you catch Percy in your arms, but the momentum of Percy hitting you sends you back over end, and you both tumble into the snow. You do prevent Percy from taking any damage, but you do suffer 5 points of fall damage and land in the snow.
Big guy.
I got a booby.
A booby.
Is Lockheed within range
Yeah.
still? Is he? Can we see him?
You guys make a perception check.
Can I look too?
Nope.
You're just now getting up out of the
Okay.
ball of wings.
Okay.
25.
I'll skip it.
6.
25.
25. You do see Lockheed is about 50, 60 feet up on the rock right now, and it's just kind of like.
Where's Lockheed?
Can I whisper Draconic and say...
Wait. Oh, yeah. Dawn, too.
And say, Lockheed. And whatever the word is for, like, come to me.
Seems too far to really be within earshot of a whisper.
I point to him. I see her doing this. I point to him and I cast message. And I say,
It's better.
Lockheed, we're down here. Come down. It's us, your friends.
Lockheed kind of. And then glides against the rock. And glides lower into the rock. Glides lower into the rock. And flies up. Still keeping a cautious distance from me above the snow.
Tibbs. Tibbs. We're friends with Tibbs. Tiberius, you remember us?
You can see Lockheed is a little closer now. Generally, I mean, you remember being fairly sick when he was initially purchased. Well, the illness has passed. Looks greatly malnourished and thin.
I pull out some of my food that I give to Trinket and try to feed it to him.
As soon as you pull out the food, Lockheed's demeanor changes immediately and starts up and like almost latches onto your hand and causes you to jump.
I cast Speak with Animals. Is he an animal?
Nope,
Damn it.
I have Speak with Small Beasts.
not a beast.
Fuck you!
Fuck
you,
He's a
Lockheed!
little small monster.
I
He's
would
not a
have
beast.
known as a dragon
monster.
expert that he's not a fucking animal then.
Yeah, he's same as a dragon.
whatever.
Dragon's not a beast.
Oh, right. But it's
He's
a
just
monster.
small.
Hurt your head in the fall.
I didn't fall, I flew.
So
Put your head in the fly.
Pike's a small monster.
The teleportation, it can. Yeah.
Just
Gosh.
grab him
You're
and
a
put him
little
in the
nauseous.
bag
Make
of
you forget the
holding.
Feywild.
Yeah.
That's all right.
Yeah. At this point now, the temperature's really set into you.
Well, I still
You-
cast Speak with Animals. It
You've heard stories of the
Trains now?
Yeah.
Jesus.
No, you're familiar with the sound, the words you've heard of Wildmount being largely a colder continent, especially to the north, where the actual civilizations of man exist. Draconia is a little further to the south, but also based on the information you have of this being taken recently as the den of Voragal, there is a almost perpetual small snowstorm that is existing above this ravine, and the wind itself is beginning to cut through. And thankfully, you're mostly armored up, and for the time being, you're fine. But you can see where this is a difficult weather pattern to perpetually live in. Lockheed finishes eating vigorously and seems to be waiting across your hand.
Perch him on my shoulder and just get out some more of the little boar meat we have in the bag of holding. And keep feeding him.
And just eats him happily.
Can I speak Draconic to him, see if he understands any of that?
What do you say?
I say,
Tiberius was teaching him Draconic.
yeah, I know. I say, where is Tiberius in Draconic?
Where's home?
Where is home?
I mean, unless Tibbs got further along with him, it was like one word.
He was teaching him like sit and play dead and stuff.
Yeah, one word at a time.
All right. Stay.
Stays and just kind of digs in the talons into the top of your leather armor shoulder.
All right.
Kind of folds the wings in and kind of just waits there, huddled up against your shoulder for warmth.
I'm going to look around and see if there's a direction in which it seems that civilization or any signs of battle or otherwise.
Make a perception check.
Up and out.
16.
16. You bring your head above the snow line, and you can see surrounding you, and you are in the center of this giant ravine that opens up to the sky, and it's like a grand, not quite Grand Canyon size, it's about half the width of some of the portions of the Grand Canyon. It's a wide gulf, and you guys are on one side of where the ravine slowly begins to coalesce, and it's various steps in which the ravine casts down. You were already towards the bottom when you landed. This could have been a lot worse were it higher up. But looking out beyond, you can see what looks to be, just from this vantage point, dozens of large stacks of broken rock and stone. You can see pillars that are jutting out of portions of this. You can see what looks to be partially and mostly collapsed buildings that themselves have been destroyed from a serious impact. And you recall during the initial attack of the Conclave that one of the things that was seen through a vision was the fall of Draconia, which were
floating
islands of stone that were held aloft through arcane means within this ravine. What you now look upon are all of the fallen remains of each of these arcane islands, now plummeted and crushed, fell into the ravine and have been sundered and destroyed.
Wow.
You do see figures moving quickly and crawling over elements of it, and you see a cluster of them fighting over something and then disperse.
What did it look like?
They're probably a good 300 feet off.
Could we tell what kind of creatures they are?
They appear to be humanoid. They appear to be somewhat reptilian.
So lizard people.
Should I make us lizard people?
Can I do like a nature check to see if I can see where the origin, the epicenter of the storm? Like the eye of the storm?
Sure.
Where it's coming from?
Clever.
Not great.
Well.
16.
16. Best that you can view from this, the storm seems to be slowly spiraling, and a large, heavy portion of the snowfall and sleet is hitting about a mile or so towards the right side of the ravine that you guys are looking at, on the wall you're at. So you have the right and the left sides of this current ravine structure. Seems to be that direction, about a mile.
I think the dragon's lair is that way.
Can you look around for more trees that aren't so hard to get to in case we need to make a fast getaway?
We can just keep our eyes open.
All right.
And you said it was like a mile. Can we traverse through the bottom of the ravine to get there in that direction?
Or is it all water?
No, you can.
It's all water.
Let's go.
Quietly.
We're gonna crack out the good
still
old dust
Still
of
pass without a
tracelessness, since there's like knee-high snow.
On top of X.
Let's also
Yeah.
let's also draconic.
No footprints.
Let's not be fleshy.
Oh yeah, draconians.
You want me to make us draconians
Yes.
or lizard people?
We're lizard people. Draconians will not trust us.
Yeah. We can at least pretend to cower and be afraid of lizardmen if we see them, but
I don't think Grog can cower.
What is the definition of this word?
Be
Go like this.
Be
it's
a
like
wussy.
it's like when you
Tiny
accidentally
shaky
Yeah.
dance. It's a shaky
I
dance.
instantly
Sorry, that
opened it up.
was
Like, nope, not doing it.
You know when you bang your balls on a rock or something?
Yeah.
It's like that. You go, oh.
Okay. Oh.
Yeah, that's
So good.
I can
Is
do
there
that.
anything you're not good at? Don't think that hard. I was just trying to. I was. Never mind.
Okay, all right.
So,
Draconians?
Draconians.
All right, I will cast Seeming on the party and make us all Draconians.
What kind of draconians?
Oh God.
There are many types of colors. There are those with and without tails that you've encountered.
Wasn't Tiberius a
Metallic.
strange one?
Don't do red.
Don't
Yeah, he
do
was a strange
metallic.
one, right?
Yeah, do metallic.
Oh,
the
they
odd man
didn't.
out.
They didn't take kindly to him.
Mm-hmm.
He got a little bit of
Metallic. Yeah?
Yes.
Yeah, bronze.
They're the nice ones.
or
Like gray silver?
Maybe
Is that
platinum.
Yeah,
It's
metallic.
there's snow.
Maybe it's good
silver.
to make us like
a
silvers and whitish and
mishmash?
stuff.
Yeah, a mishmash of bronze, silver,
And
yeah.
white,
Gold,
since you know
bronze.
that's the color of.
bronze, silver, and gold then?
That's
I guess.
dramatic.
Is
Metallic,
that-
metallic, bronze, silver, gold.
Yeah, we'll do the Olympics.
Yeah.
Okay, and with or without tail, because you've met
With
both.
tail.
They won't actually be tails. That might actually get us into trouble.
Which one was Tiberius?
Tiberius had a tail.
Do most of them have
Gurn
tails?
didn't have a tail, and he was less than. I don't
Tail.
think Draconians will like us
Points,
if we
tail.
don't.
We all have tails.
Okay.
Mine's a little longer than the rest.
Do you mean like one of those little hairy things on the back of your head?
Keeping your normal attire, just the top of a draconian form.
No, what do draconians
Rags.
wear?
Put us in rags, like we've been
yes.
living in rubble.
Yes, we're in burlap
Raw
sacks.
silk and tattered clothes, just rags, terrible gray things.
Yeah.
Okay.
Clever.
Make us look like we've kind of been beat up.
Sure. We all have a single bruise. In a different place. On our face.
Same
On just everyone's got one face bruise in a different place.
All of your forms shift into that of various metallic dragonborn with tails, adorned in rags, dirty. What do you do?
Oh shit! Who else speaks Draconic here?
You
You're the
speak
only one.
Draconic.
Nobody else talk.
Yeah.
We're all mutes, and we're lepers and mutes, and you are our
Just-
doctor?
Everybody else just does like fearful anime reacts the whole time.
Nani?
Don't actually speak Japanese.
Also. So,
Sorry.
We're moving towards the
We've
episode.
segued a lot this episode.
all right.
the
So you
segue
guys
episode.
step up out of the snow and begin just walking, or are you still
the
going
leader, you're the
stealthily through the
leader.
snow?
Yes.
I mean,
Step up,
stealthily.
lead us.
I'm stealthily leading
Stealthing.
us that direction towards the where the lair is.
Towards the dragon.
Keeping an eye out for
Yes.
trees.
And
And
people. And
for
things.
any of the lizard creatures coming towards us.
Right now, no.
Okay, then let's quietly make our way that direction.
Remember, like you've been hit in the pool.
don't need to know these things.
You guys cluster up and begin stepping above the snow, which is still about waist to knee high for some of you, making your way to the right of your current location towards the center of the storm that Keyleth seems to have discovered. As you guys begin to walk, the nearby pile of rock and rubble, there was that one cluster of 4 or 5 of these moving lizard-like entities. They suddenly, one of them looks over and looks at your group, looks back to the rest, and they all kind of stand up and look over in your direction.
You're our leader, friend. Do we continue? Wait, oh.
They're just watching you. They're not doing
Okay,
anything.
then let's
Oh, that's so
injuredly
cold.
keep walking.
Oh, so tired.
They go back to rummaging through, and you guys continue to walk. The ravine curves to the right, or at least it begins to open up further to the right, and you're met with the next large structure of rubble. What you saw was the edge of what looks to be an extremely large, once floating island, now crushed and sundered across the ground. There are sheets of ice across parts of it. You can see what looks to be the better part of some sort of a large palace or library that is now caved in partially. You can see frozen books scattered across portions of the stone and rock on the ground before you. You can see what looks to be a series of huts have been constructed on top of this rubble, and there are some small fires lit, little plumes of smoke, and probably 24 dragonborn figures that are currently combing through the rubble.
Do we see any books that seem interesting as we're walking through them?
They're like underneath ice. You can try and chisel some out if you like.
No, don't have time.
All right.
A lot of it's covered in snow. There's just bits that are. There's some bits where you can peek through and see there are sheets of ice and frozen book, but
Frozen books and frozen bodies.
Are there any frozen bodies?
as you begin to have a closer look as you walk by, there are many frozen bodies. You see many people, all dragonborn, some just atop the rubble, some partially crushed, some partially locked in ice, some destroyed, but looks to be some sort of an acidic substance. It looks like some of them are covered in boils, and like their face is locked in some sort of horrible coughing fit. This was a very terrifying battle scene that has transpired here.
That means Raishan was here.
That means Thordak was here.
Umbrasyl was here. Acid.
They attacked the cities as a
There are no
force.
signs of anyone burned.
Oh, Thordak was here.
Oh, I thought you said Ash. Sorry.
No, sorry.
And the people that are scouring through the rubble, are those Dragonborn or just the lizard people?
Best that you can tell right now, it appears to be Dragonborn.
And what can we look at their behavior and see what it looks like they're doing? I mean, are they just
What's their
Make an
emotional
insight check.
state?
I would like to join that insight check.
I would not like to.
Yep.
9.
9.
I will join that insight.
I'll join in too.
You've already said no.
Can I join in?
13? This isn't having to do with dragons. So 13.
I don't do insight checks too often. I'm sorry. 22.
Ooh.
Damn.
Did you roll or not?
Oh, I had rolled a 10.
Best you can tell, they're surviving. They're scouring through the ruins, trying to find anything of worth. Some of it's finding wood and throwing it onto these little flame pyres that are scattered about the ruins. You begin to look and see that actually the sides of the ravine, there are hundreds and hundreds of small caverns that are carved into the rock. Like a not quite like dense honeycomb style, but it looks like there is an entire cave city that lives within this ravine.
And they're not frozen over.
There are some of them are covered in snow,
Yeah.
but there does not appear to be.
But snow, not blasted with ice.
look
or
like they're in
anything. These are
use.
new. Yeah, they're finding a new way to live.
They probably did something similar that we did.
Some of these Dragonborn, by the way, which they're coming in out of their huts. Some of them are still looking up at the sky nervously. They look over and see you guys approaching, and a voice calls out and goes,
Who goes there?
Friends,
Stormwind.
friends of Stormwinds.
Friends of Stormwind, you say?
Maybe.
We have friends of Stormwind. Approach.
I walk up injuredly.
all right.
I'm so cold.
I'm hobbling up behind.
Also, cowering.
Okay.
I'm fine.
You guys cower and you approach. Keyleth, Vax, and Vex, you notice as you approach that a number of the people that have all stopped and kind of paying attention to the approach are beginning to move around and kind of encircling you.
Pardon my friends, their tongues have been cut out by our captors. I'm all that's left.
As you walk forward, you can see the figure that's talking to you. A very tall, burly, what looks to be bronze-scaled dragonborn. Long horns that kind of protrude down the back at a slow curvature. No tail. In fact, you now notice that every single one of the dragonborn you've noticed here have no tail.
We had a 50-50 chance.
Friends of Stormwind. That would make you Skywalkers. I see your tails. You survive the onslaught and step into the den of those you persecuted. Well, what are your last words?
Oh my god.
This was a great plan.
Good.
Hey,
Drop it.
I don't know what's going on.
Is this all being said in Draconic?
This is all being said.
Draconian, I don't know
Can
what's
we
happening.
You guys
I
don't
can't
hear this, this
understand
is
any
just
of it,
Vex.
but they are getting it.
you know
just
what?
these
I don't know what to tell you. Everyone with a tail is an asshole. We got what was coming to us.
Make a persuasion check.
Big money, no whammies.
19?
He turns his head to the side a bit and kind of...
What skills do you have?
I can shoot.
Is that all?
He makes boots.
That's a skill.
She's really good at stonecraft.
All the other Dragonborn that are come behind you are now holding spears, some of them kind of rudimentary looking pikes that are kind of just held up and kind of pointed in your direction. You guys are now enclosed by about 24 Dragonborn.
Here are your choices. You die here like the scum you are.
Choice B.
In slavery it is. You will join the rest of your ilk, and you will seek food for us, and you will know what it's like to be bent beneath the knee of those who do not deserve it. Put them in chains!
Fucking tails.
Oh, they're gonna know as soon as we're in chains.
No, we're going to have a fight here.
Oh, should we drop seeming?
Yeah.
Perhaps we should drop seeming.
What? Is it going well?
Actually, you know what? Wait.
They approach and kind of stop for a second. There's a few of the folks went over and went to grab for chains, have kind of stopped and just holding them in their hand.
To drop it.
I'll have to tell you something. We're not actually draconian.
He leans in and gives you this very, very keen look now. Takes a few steps closer. He's about 5 feet from you now.
From where I stand, you look pretty fucking draconian to me.
Well, we have some really good magic users with us. Look, forgive us for making tales. We don't know anything about your culture. We're idiots. We came here because we know you're under attack, and we're trying to help.
There you go.
Yeah.
And you just wander into the caves of the Ravenites, stressed in the face of those that broke our backs.
Yep, because we're stupid.
Make a persuasion check with disadvantage.
Disadvantage. Not good.
We're pretty identical, almost
14?
identical.
14?
Get it on.
Bring the chains. You have 10 seconds to
Drop
prove
seeming. Just drop it.
Really?
Yeah.
It's one of my better spells.
I know, I'm sorry.
Drop it, Scanman.
All right, poof. We're back to normal.
Oh, is this what's happening
All
now?
of your images fade, and
Ta-da.
suddenly everyone kind of takes a step back. The spears come up
I
even
know,
further, and there's
yeah.
a moment of pause.
Oh, my
adorable.
tail's gone.
No, you
Bummer.
don't believe me. You don't want the tail.
Well, it's good to
Oh,
know.
I enjoyed it.
Does anyone speak common?
Does this make things
Alvin?
better or worse for us?
I repeat him.
Yeah, they all. The reactions you get from them, you gather that most of these don't speak common, and none of them seem to understand what you're saying.
Cool.
Is there someone we
So,
can talk
here's
to?
the thing. You're being attacked by a white dragon.
The White Dragon came and he tore down the Skywalkers.
So you're happy with it?
Well, it's put us in a better position.
Right. But now that the Skywalkers have already been torn down, do you want to keep the dragon in charge?
We owe the dragon for the freedom that he gave us.
So you serve one,
For the time.
and he doesn't punish you at all. He's a
Those-
good master.
Those who deserve punishment get it, but we hunt with it. It brings us power. It promises expansion of the Ravenites, and we will no longer live under the boot of those in this countryside, in this continent.
How's it going?
Really bad.
We have children to
They don't
feed.
like us.
We have families of our own.
How can we help?
How can you help?
That's what we're here for.
Bring us
If you're
food,
happy,
bring us warmth, chop some firewood, bring some trees, work.
gladly. But not in chains. We do this freely.
Give us your weapons. and you can walk freely.
Let's kill them all.
I'm sorry, that's not happening.
Then leave.
That we will.
What is your business here, then? She who wanders in the faces of others.
That's a cool title. Yeah, I
Add
kind of
that
like
to the
that
list.
actually. Yeah, it's good.
Our entire landscape is under attack. Now, Voragol has helped you, but they've made many others suffer, not just Draconians. Entire cities brought down for nothing. We're here to right the wrong and help in any way we can.
You should talk to Tuma.
Tuma?
Tuma.
It is not a puma.
No.
We knew that was going to happen.
Took about
immediately.
1.5 seconds.
Joke of it.
No.
Fuck with Matt's
Travis,
name.
no.
Hey, to be fair, I'm sure he assumed we would.
No, he didn't.
I think he assumed.
Oh.
All you're doing is putting fuel on the fire.
Was it Tuma?
Tuma?
Tooma. T-O-O-M-A.
T-O-O-M-A. Oh, yeah.
That's totally different.
Yeah, than I would. And who is Tuma?
Tuma is our chieftain. I'm not to make this decision. Come. No chains for now.
All right.
They all stay with their spears still out in front, but they kind of nudge you forward.
I
kind of
explain everything
prodding.
that's happening in common as we walk.
All right.
Is everybody still cool with this? We're going to see the chieftain.
Just tell us when we're supposed to kill everybody.
We improvise. This
Right?
is what we do. Yeah,
I think
okay.
This is going great.
I think this is actually going far better than I had hoped.
Remember, Vex. Ticking time bomb here. We gotta get in, get out.
I
Got
know.
one day here.
Are there any trees that we could see as we're walking, by the way?
They actually said they wanted us to chop firewood, so if we can get
Trees
sent
are
on that
thing.
mission,
Then we're
we're
done.
set.
Oh, I mean, I
perception check.
can grow them a lot of trees, like
19.
right now.
There.
Oh, grow them trees?
Yeah.
let's do
Make
that.
trees.
Oh, are we in the mountains? No. Are we?
No,
29.
you're in a ravine. Well, perception check was just for Grog, because he's the only one who asked to look for trees.
Oh.
But you rolled a 19?
I did.
Looking around, occasionally poking out of the rubble, you'll see a tree. Most of them seem to have not fared so well with the cold weather, or have been snapped or broken in the process of the falling rubble. You do make out towards the edge on the other side of the ravine, beyond this giant one. You can see this one island, one kind of larger island of the clusters that made up Draconia fell in the center here and is just broken apart. On the far end, you can see there's a small cluster of trees, the hint of green still to them. Some of them, varying thickness.
I could work with that. It's a
It
good
might be
starting
long,
point.
Might be a long way away, though. Just in terms of exfil distances.
We've been here about, what, 10 minutes?
At this point, I'd say about 15, 20.
15, 20, okay.
So we're gonna
You
go
guys-
see Tuma, or we're gonna chop down some fucking trees?
Oh, we have to
Tuma
go. They're
first.
walking us to the chieftain.
Yeah, we got
guys
Can't
are-
just walk away now.
spears at our back.
You guys are prodded along over the rubble, and as you come around, you can see where the outside of the island is broken rock. The center of it is broken structures, buildings, homes, giant, great marble halls. Everything is just kind of mostly fallen in. You still see some structures standing, but at odd angles. There are sections of buildings that still show kind of the outer outline of what once stood, but it is all to complete ruin. You do see every now and then a few large spikes of ice that are jutting out of portions, and you see bodies that are kind of jabbed onto the spikes and left to freeze. Just
Do they have tails?
they do. You move over the bulk of this giant pile of rubble and begin to descend the other side, and you can see now there is an active village here that is half frozen entirely. Like half of it seems to be abandoned, the other half is just completely coated in solid ice. The crowd leads you past that abandoned village to a series of tunnels against the wall, maybe 300 or 400 feet from that cluster of trees that you saw.
That's not that far.
Leads you into this tunnel, and on the inside, there are small glow stones that are set in portions of the stone. Not naturally forming, but essentially small natural bits of torchlight that are just pressed into the stonework to give some sort of a light source.
Cool.
You're led in for about 5 or so minutes, and you see other offshoot tunnels. It's like a giant anthill-like weave throughout this. And you can see rudimentary furniture made of wood and stone and like limestone rock and whatever's available within the actual ravine here.
Can I get a sense on like when this was carved? If this was carved recently, or if this has been here for a while?
Go ahead and make an H check.
Ooh, 27.
Best you can tell from looking at the rock and knowing the amount of erosion versus the curvature of it, it looks like this has been these tunnels have been here for a very long time.
They have.
Yes.
Okay.
This portion of the tunnel opens up, and you can see now there is a much more refined village-type structure inside. Maybe 30 plus small homes carved from rock and stone, built much better than the kind of makeshift huts that you saw outside. You also see a giant pile of broken chains to the left side of the entryway. Many of them are manacles and what looks to be some sort of like neck vices that are just all thrown and discarded in this large pile.
Tiberius never mentioned this side of Draconia.
No, he didn't.
As you are brought into the center of this larger chamber, you see probably 24 Draconians that are out and about, just currently gathering materials, talking and walking, stop and see as you enter, and just kind of watch as you pass by. Colors range from metallic to chromatic, all spectrum. It is just a mishmash of color of all walks and sizes.
And the chromatic, the red, the blue, the green, are we seeing tails on them?
Nope.
No tails.
Nobody has tails down here.
Good to know.
I could make us all draconian again without tails.
That would probably work at this point, right?
You're led past a couple of these stone structures, and there's a central kind of open circular plot between a lot of these. There is a fountain that seems to spring a very, very clean source of water within the center of this chamber. And then beyond that, there is a larger temple-like square structure that has a slight trapezoidal appearance to it. The entranceway is just an open arch, and you can see a large fire burning on the inside of it. You are led around the fountain and led to the inside, and there you see sitting on what looks to be a large stone seat made of just haphazard bits of rock and stone make this what looks relatively uncomfortable, but a large stone throne almost. There is a female dragonborn. She wears long, drab gray robes, tattered at the edges, a hood that is just kind of loosely pulled back, and what looks like a large scarf or wrap around her neck and shoulders. And she just sits there with her hands over the side draped, and as you walk in and your eyes adjust, you can see that she looks very old. As you're brought in, the rest of your crew still pushes you in with the spears. And she kind of leans forward.
Are these prisoners of ours?
And the Dragonborn that brought you in goes, they are, for the time being. They say they come here because the Frigid Doom and other dragons who came are killing their people as well. They have come to fight the dragon, or so they claim.
They walked in under guise of our enemy. It is your wisdom to make these choices.
And the larger Dragonborn bows his head and steps away. The spears pull back, and they kind of step, blocking the exits that you walk through. The entire archway now is just shoulder to shoulder, Dragonborn with spears at the ready.
Tuma, we apologize for coming in the guise of your enemies. Unfortunately, we don't know much about your culture, and no one ever informed us of what you have suffered, and we apologize.
Make a persuasion check.
Um, 23?
You're saying this in Draconic, guys?
Yes.
She leans in a bit, and a bit of the firelight kind of crackles under her chin. You can see the teeth on one side kind of pull out beyond the lip, and it gives her this kind of lopsided look. The tongue kind of wipes across the front, and she leans in towards you.
You come here to fight the Frigid Doom, you say?
Yes.
I would be lying if I said it did not bring a chance for freedom to all of us Ravenites.
Much deserved.
But as time progresses, I fear that we shake one bond to step into another. The dragon presented itself as our savior, but has since required an ever-growing fealty.
They do that.
Without the Draconians, without the Skywalkers, and without the Doom, we would be free. Can rebuild our culture.
I want nothing more for you than that. Let us help you.
You see, so now the rest of you hear this. Do your friends speak common?
Oh, that's lovely.
Hi!
Hi, yes.
Much relieved. Yes, they do.
Grog doesn't, but we do.
If we are to let you go, do you promise to slay this creature?
We will do everything in our power to watch it die.
It is our only purpose.
It has been gone for days.
It should be back very soon.
It took most of its army with it.
Yes, Grog was right. He's always right.
That was our hope, was that we would be able
She
to
said
come
most.
here when it was at its weakest and get a sense of it.
Do you know where its lair is?
I do.
Is it far?
It is not far, but 1 hour walk.
Can I roll an insight check on her?
Thank
You may.
you.
19?
18?
Oh boy. Oh boy.
See, do you know what I like as much as Whispers?
What is that?
Loot Crate.
What? Taliesin.
I
you
do.
gotta do better than that.
I like.
Try
I
something
like
like this. Try something like this. You know, Matt's an asshole. But you know who's not? The good people at Loot Crate. I don't know.
Loot Crate doesn't decide to just tell one person about what's going on. They let everyone know.
Loot Crate gives to everybody.
Not just Vex.
Hey, you never told us what he whispered to you before.
No, he didn't.
It's an insight. We're good.
Oh
right.
boy.
We're good.
I'm a vampire. Just deal with it.
Oh no, this whole time.
If you come here to kill this dragon, I assume you have the means and a plan.
We definitely have plans.
Totally
for this
have a
event.
plan.
Then let us set an ambush.
Oh.
Ambush?
Wait,
Sorry?
come again?
For the
Okay.
dragon?
Well, we tried to do that one other time.
It worked.
And while it did pay off,
Many were.
brother is dead. A lot of people died in the process. A lot.
This is not a quick.
Very large, strong people.
So what do you insist? We not have an ambush. We just wait for it to land, then attack head on.
No.
We were going to use this opportunity to find our way into its lair and find its weaknesses and plan then.
Sabotage from the inside.
There's more than one dragon, and they are supporting each other.
If we kill this one, it'll set off a chain reaction that we might not be able to recover from if we're not fully prepared.
We want to make the means to make sure that when the time comes, we can destroy them all in one fell swoop.
The risk here is that by destroying Voragal,
Yeah.
Yes.
Something like that.
one.
the Frigid Doom,
The Frigid Doom.
You'll bring the wrath of the others upon you.
He is not the strongest.
Thordak is much larger, and I don't think has been here.
You speak with accents I do not understand. Where do you come from?
Everywhere.
Well, we're a motley crew.
Lots of different places.
Do not answer that. Do not answer that question.
We can answer the continent.
Better lie.
As you can see, we're half-elves.
So, we are to walk to the den. You are to learn your information. Then what?
Set up a situation where we can monitor you and possibly contact you when it's time. And even let you know if we think the dragon's about to leave so that you can prepare.
I have lived to see this day by not being deceived or tricked. You speak words that are not direct. They wind, they spin, they circle. What guarantee do I have that you will not just flee?
To be fair, what guarantee do we have that you won't kill us and the ambush was meant for us? I believe there's untrust on both sides.
At which point she steps off of the throne, steps on both of her feet, and when she's off the throne, her imposing form becomes far less imposing. You can see now there's a very heavy hunch to her back, and as she kind of scuffles forward, it's just a very, almost pitiful-looking sight physically. As she pulls forward to kind of walk straight to you, Keyleth. You see the somewhat clouded, cataract-ridden eyes of the dragonborn female, Tuma. Comes up to you and goes,
We are a proud people, even when pressed into the dirt for as many years as we have been. We reclaim our honor. We reclaim our place in this world. We wish to do this as peacefully as possible. But we have been forced to scrounge and survive through this freedom. We wish you no folly. We wish you no ill will. But we also have learned that trust needs to be earned. It cannot be spoken and given so freely. Both ways. You are right to mistrust, as are we of you. But that is the impasse. One must have faith in one way or another if there is to be a compromise.
I think faith and trust are not mutually exclusive. I cannot trust you and still have faith. And you should not feel a lack of pride for living in the dirt or surviving. There's nothing wrong with that. But I understand your urge to want to rebuild, become the great culture that I know you all are. So, you should at least trust that we have similar interests in the end.
Make a persuasion check.
Good, Kudos.
19.
Was that an opal? Was that opal?
Yes, it was.
Opal!
Opal's back! 25.
25.
Just the universe, people.
She reaches forward and extends a finger. It kind of just gently scrapes the bottom of the chin. Not too much to hurt, but just to kind of pull across the skin and pull your chin upward into the light of the fire a little bit. There is much wisdom in there for so young a face. All right. There are not many options we have either. Come, we will walk. And at the very least, if you decide to flee, never return.
We can give you that word.
Tuma. Are the Frigid Doom's armies around? Will they see us?
There are a handful of dregs that stay behind, but... Tell me you wear many faces.
Certainly don't want them to see ours.
What should we disguise ourselves as?
She points past over your head and goes, Tiny gnome, the faces of those that lead you here.
Okay, tiny is uncalled for, but I understand. The faces of you, of your tribe, of your clan. All right.
Be glad you walk with one as wise.
Oh, is she talking about me? Yes. Oh, that's awesome.
She begins to shuffle over, and you watch as two of the Dragonborn walk over and like kind of scoop her up shoulder to shoulder, and she kind of shrugs them off and pushes them away. I can walk myself.
Oh.
Respect.
She begins shuffling, and they kind of separate and open. She walks partway out as you guys stand there and turns around and beckons. Well, come.
We follow.
Can we cast seeming again?
I can do seeming one more time.
Whoosh.
All right.
Wait, if you cast seeming, will we still be able to get into the...
We still got the mansion.
Okay.
But it handicaps me a bit. I will cast seeming again on the party and
Sorry.
do the same thing, except slightly different colors and slightly less tail.
The larger Dragonborn will let you
My
in.
tail nub is slightly larger than the
Or like a... Anyway.
The cube lips.
Yeah, the cube lips.
It's a cube. It's a tail cube.
As the rest of the guards circle around and begin to walk, a bit of trepidation, but going along with Tuma, the large one led you in and goes,
Tuma, are you certain?
She turns around and goes, Skork, there are few things that are certain in this world. I am not long for it. But if we are not to seize the opportunity of kinship, we miss the opportunity for survival. Is it a risk? Yes. Sometimes it's a risk worth taking. And she keeps walking. The rest of them gather behind, and the now named Skork kind of gives a nod and continues walking along.
Have we heard of Skork?
Skork.
Is that his name?
He was the guy that was
name
giving
is-
us
Yeah,
shit
he
in
was the
beginning.
guy that we talked to right when we got here.
Gotta backpage this.
You guys are led out of the tunnel, back into the freezing air. The wind has picked up a bit, and you can now hear this like low hum as it hits certain portions of the cavern and causes, low vibrational whistles in the distance. The snow has begun to fall, a little heavier now, and as you walk out, you hear the crunch of your footsteps as you're stepping through heavier and heavier blankets of snow.
Can I tell Tuma, just as we walk out, like, P.S., if that dragon comes back, we need to bolt.
She nods. If that dragon comes back, we never saw you. You never saw us.
Thank you.
She's very slow, by the way. Your passage of travel is about half speed as she kind of leads the charge, but everyone respectfully keeps in pace with her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tuma, have you ever heard of a dragonborn named Gurn Blanston?
She kind of thinks for a second. That name has not come to my mind, no.
Us neither.
Pulled it out of my
Pushing
ass.
on. It's gotten a little lighter in the sky. You figure based on your arrival, you may have just come in at the cusp of dawn, and the sun has now gotten higher in the sky. You're on the entire opposite side of the planet now. So the cycle has changed based on the location you're currently in. So now, while you guys were... we had rested, actually.
We left in the morning.
Yeah, you left in the morning. You would have gotten here, so...
It's like nighttime.
I'm sorry, opposite of that. It's actually now getting dusk.
Oh, okay.
So even though it's only been a couple hours of daylight that you've seen since you woke up this morning, it's already beginning to set and the sky's getting darker.
Good, this
Lost a day, but the dragon will still take the same amount of time. Yeah.
I'm so tree lagged though.
I know. Always sucks going west to east.
That's true.
You're led over a portion of the ravine ever so slowly that lifts up, and then as you get to the crest, it lends down into a far deeper and wider portion of the ravine. This is now the center part of this entire giant physical anomaly that is this giant crack in the ground. And you can see the bulk of the fallen cities in the center of this area.
Do we see any big trees around here?
You see a couple of larger trees that just kind of sprout out from the rubble. There's ones that managed to survive the impact of certain areas of stone, though it looks like a lot of the bark has been stripped and might not be alive that you can see from this distance. And there are smaller trees towards the edge, and a few still protruding from portions of the walls.
Just note every tree as we walk by. We need them all.
Yeah, I'm paying attention to the trees.
Yeah.
I'm like, that's the biggest tree that's not closest to us. Now that's the biggest tree that's not closest to us. Now
Right.
that one.
As you led down into the ravine, you reach the central structure, and you can already see from this distance, as the snow falls, hitting and covering the rocks, there are dozens and dozens of those spikes of ice jutting out of the rock, each with what looks to be one or two various frozen corpses just kind of impaled on them and left. At the top of this, you can see what looks to be a large cluster of ice that is in a somewhat round gathering, and you can see... Actually, no, you don't see that. Sorry. I know that will come to play in the future.
Can I ask a question? The bodies on the spikes, none of them look familiar, right?
You can keep a watch as you go. You push towards the center of the ravine upon the large island rubble. You begin to move, and it takes a good 40, 50 minutes, an hour to traverse a lot further than you would expected in that time period. Or sorry, well, a lot less you figured you would traverse in that time, being weighed down by Tuma's gate. However, the rubble begins to subside, and you begin to see what looks to be just steps of ice. Not perfect carved steps, but just elements of encapsulated, broken platforms of ice that act as stairs. Vax, Vex, and Keyleth, as you guys begin to move up the steps, you especially, Vex, look and you can see a little bit of light is beginning to shine down through the ice. You can see what looks to be mounds and mounds of coins and jewel boxes and many, many expensive knickknacks and collections, all below feet of solid ice, all clustered towards the apex of this collapsed, ruined island.
Tuma, is Vorgol having you collect all of this?
Urugal sends us to pay the debt we owe for being freed, yes. We scavenge. We spend our days searching for food, for the means to survive, and finding what we can from the ruins of the broken Draconia.
And when you can't find anything, what then?
These are the thoughts that consume me. That is the reason that you are still alive. Everyone make a perception check.
Yeah, dog.
God damn it. I need to take a luck feat.
14.
28.
Natural 20.
Whoa. That wasn't the golden snitch.
It wasn't.
No,
golden
I put the
snitch.
golden stitch away for the evening.
All right.
Natural 20 when I dropped it. Giving up on it.
As you guys can approach, you can see now, like the ice that encases the golden coins begins to ripple upward and is getting harder and harder to climb. You can see now it comes to an apex in this kind of bowl-like formation. And as you get to a point where it's harder to ascend, you can see Tuma kind of stops and sees that she can't go much further, and she points up and goes, "That is where it sleeps. That is where we come to give what we find. And that is where it should fall."
What is its nature? Is it vain? Does it want you to bow before it?
It does not ask for kneeling. It asks for fear and respect. It asks us to bring the most powerful creatures in the land for it to chase.
Predator.
Can I roll an insight check on her again? Jesus. This is creepy. 27.
27.
Oh shit, balls.
Oh boy, guys.
Box is full of loot?
No. It's a crate, Liam.
Crate is full of boxes?
Yes, a crate full of boxes. Box Crate,
What
our
do you
best
do with the
sponsor.
boxes?
No, you just inside the boxes are tinier boxes.
Tinier boxes? When do you get to the loot, though?
No, it's a Russian nesting doll of boxes and crates.
Box.
Box. And then inside is Box Crate. And inside that is Tiny Bag Crate.
What are you guys talking about?
But Liam, if you want all those boxes,
I need boxes.
you get $3 off.
Wow.
The first box of boxes.
Thank you.
Crate.
Great.
All right, so
This is its home. This is its shrine.
Check the fucking traps before we go in there.
Wait, is it up? Is it down? Is it through?
it's like at the top it
giant
comes into this
platform?
giant bowl, this like platform of ice, and it's almost like a nest where it sits in.
Big icy dog bed.
By the way, we've been in dragons' lairs before, and the lairs themselves do things, right?
Yeah.
Yes, with the dragon in them.
But when the dragon's not in them, they don't do anything?
Well, my sister and I are going to have a look around. I have a question for you, though. If we make a stand here today, in theory, is it worth it to you to stand with us?
If you feel confident. Otherwise, we walk to our death prematurely.
Yeah, let's not do that today.
Today is not that
This
day.
is reconnaissance.
If all goes well, we will have one more conversation.
What are you laughing at?
All right, I'm going to start searching the ground.
Yeah.
I do have one other question.
I have an idea.
The bodies on the spikes. How did that happen? What was that?
When the islands fell, there was a great fight of those that survived against the dragon. We did not join in out of fear and out of not knowing which side would come out. The Vorugal stayed behind as the other two flew. The dragon asked us why we do not fight. And we said, because it is not our place. The dragon said, well, your place is now that of free kin. The dragon summoned forth these spikes and drove it through the hearts of many of the Skywalkers.
Many of us cheered, for it was a symbol that many had wished to see for a long time. But at the same time, the older ones of us, it was not what we wanted. It was not how we wished to be freed. But we had no way of stopping him. And as time went on, and with each surviving Skywalker that was found, there were no more cheers. Just the dread of knowing that maybe in time, when all of the spikes are filled, it may be us on them next.
Thank you.
29, looking for any traps.
Okay. You spend the next 15 minutes or so, 20 minutes, kind of skirting around the outside of this large frozen bowl, looking for some semblance of a set trap. You don't recognize anything as any sort of mechanism placed that would set off your warning defense systems as a rogue.
Can I stand on the top and look out from the platform and see what is visible from the platform and what areas seem hidden in
Sure.
the landscape?
I'm going to join you on that.
Okay, both of you guys roll perception checks.
I have an idea.
Natural 20.
Natural fucking 20.
Well, I don't even need to look. Good.
That
because
you
I-
both saw that, right? That just fucking happened.
Well,
This is
I
not my
witnessed it.
normal die. This is something about a comic.
Oh, it's not the dice anymore. We just know that
Okay,
you've
so-
somehow gained the favor of some Aztec deity that's trying to reclaim its foothold in the current day pantheon through you.
Quetzalcoatl.
Sumerian.
You're right, it would be Sumerian.
It would be.
You,
I'm bringing a shrine to Burning Man, by the way. This is the thing.
Oh, this is pertaining to dragons.
All right.
No, this is more, it's more of an icy terrain. Nevertheless,
Give Steve Martin the win here.
No, I
Between-
know. I just
between the two of you
helps.
keeping an eye out to this Marduk Enki living fool over here.
Bless you for knowing a Sumerian deity.
Of course.
6 hours.
You look off and see that most of it, and its design here is to be a sentry point. The reason it's built over the structure, it has a view of the entirety of this central open valley in the ravine. There are nooks and crannies. There are elements of ice that could be carved away. There are small alcoves that could be out of sight, lower beyond the ice steps and such, but there is no like extremely visible pockets or things that are completely out of the visual sight from that perch. It was designed specifically to be a place to survey.
Are there other perches?
From what you can see here, I mean, there are outcroppings of stone and certain elements that kind of jut out naturally from the valley wall, but it's a wide berth from each side.
I mean, like, does this seem like the only thing, or would there be
only way.
would there be other sentry points as well?
If flown to and held in, yeah, there are a couple other rock areas that a dragon will be able to hold himself, but this is definitively.
Is this the highest?
Which one?
The
No, it's the
highest.
bottom right.
The bottom?
Bottom right. Like the highest point.
So we have a really good vantage right now.
From here, yeah.
Yeah.
This is the highest point in the ravine. Yes.
Do we see the orb? Do we see an orb?
Yeah, the orbs.
Oh,
yeah.
Do we
The
see
orbs.
any other?
Make an investigation check.
Can I help?
I mean, we're all
We're all looking.
technically.
Sure.
Oh.
There we go. See, that wasn't great.
28.
11.
17.
16.
9.
You guys take a while glancing about, nothing. Scanlan, you dart down and begin peering up against the ice walls that surround it, going down into the actual scooping bowl of this dragon nest. And looking down, you can see just a little glimmer of light that refracts at a different angle than the rest of the ice. A spherical surface is visible about 2.5 feet below.
Okay. Do we smash it? Do we use it to make a crank call? Do we... What do we do with it? Steal it?
What is
Do we...
They'll be able to scry on us for sure.
Yeah,
if
it's
we
a
steal
two-way.
it.
If we
See
steal
us,
it, they will
just
see us
like
wherever we
the
go.
minute we looked into Brim Scythes.
I could do a Voragal voice and just say, "Whoa, Thordak, you're a cock."
You don't actually know his voice.
I mean,
We heard him. We heard
I
him.
could say, "Thordak, I'm in desperate need of pay."
do you speak dragon?
I guess you'll have to do that. What do we do? Do we break it so he can't communicate with the outside? That way, when we kill him, he can't call for help.
I don't think that's a good idea.
Yeah,
If we do
violate what we said we would do.
What would we say we would do? I have a great idea for how to kill this fucker.
Plus, if we do
You have
anything,
a great idea of how to kill
Well,
it.
I have an idea. Tuma just told us that they bring
animals. For
animals to hunt.
Yeah.
We could be one of those
Those
animals and draw it to a certain spot
I had, yeah.
And draw it to a certain spot.
where we kill it.
It wouldn't
With
be here.
our...
With our army of fucking draconians and our ice thing that we've shaped into some sort of a trap.
I get a distinct impression that it is not impressed by ice.
Fire trap, rock trap.
What if we
Tree
stick
trap.
with the
And
plan?
you're saying this out loud amongst the crew, right?
Just us.
Okay.
Oh shit.
But the ears have walls.
And also, you're right in front of the scrying circle.
But it's
It's-
buried.
no,
it's
it's
buried
far
by
away from it.
ice.
Yeah.
It's
Buried by ice, but it
so-
doesn't mean it still doesn't work.
No, as soon as you called them draconians, there were a few hisses from the nearby crew.
Oh.
Oh, the Ravenites.
Would they
Do they
all speak
speak,
common?
they
They all
speak
speak
common? Would they even know the common tongue
Some of
version of
them
that?
do. We
Some
spoke
of
to
them
them.
might.
We spoke to them in common.
Well,
and they
we spoke to
understood us.
Tuma in common.
Oh, all right.
Let's make a plan
Bet there's
right
one.
here, right now.
I
We
just
are
did.
not-
I made a plan.
Absolutely not.
It's an
not.
ambush plan.
Okay, and then we go home and the dragons are at war. Then what?
What do you mean the dragons are all? There's only 2 more dragons at that point. Killed 3/5 of
We
them.
attack one dragon. We start the war. That is something we've been told over and over and
What
over.
does that
again.
even mean? We've already attacked 2 dragons.
That
There's
means-
been no war.
Once one more is dead, they'll probably all attack.
Attack what?
If one more is dead, then they're
They'll
down.
stop playing.
They're outnumbered.
Nice. They'll start destroying.
They're currently.
We have to kill them at some point.
Yes, and now is not that
The
point.
greatest plan we have is what Grog came up with.
Which was?
Pitting them against each other.
All right, so how
Okay,
do we
well,
use
what-
this orb to do that right now?
Do we have to use the orb?
That's why we came here.
Well, we came here to find out what its lair looked like,
What we're going to need.
to get information, which
we
we
need
got.
to sneak you in there, and we need you to take a movement.
What?
What does that mean?
Sneak who in
a
what?
poo, Scanlan, a
I
poo.
can't do it anymore.
What?
Twins. I used my last magic poo to look at my daughter.
Ew!
What a sentence!
Disgusting.
What a
In
sentence!
every aspect, Scanlan, disgusting.
That's the next
Amazing.
T-shirt.
Amazing. I used my last magic poo to look at my daughter.
I need to know where she is. I need to know she's okay.
This is
Gilmore
high
can maybe
fantasy.
make me some more potion, but I haven't wanted to bother him about it because he's busy keeping a shield around Whitestone.
You didn't say that out loud. You did not just say that out loud.
I said it in an accent.
That was out loud.
All right.
Oh, hello.
Hang on. Let's think about this for a minute.
Oh my god.
Jesus Christ. Can we just step away from the orb while we talk?
Yeah, let's do that.
We're not near the orb, we're near the Draconians. We're far enough away.
Ravenites.
You got the Ravenites. You're,
I said that out of
Yeah, they're still all gathered around the base of this. They walked you here, and they're basically watching you set up for this ambush preparation or in these gathering. They're not just going to leave you to your own devices. They're still not quite sure of everything.
I think the best thing, can we sketch what
That's
it
what I was
looks
gonna
like?
say.
I think
Can
you
you
should
sketch
sketch in your
this?
sketchbook what
We need to use this opportunity. We're never going to be in this dragon's lair again. This is it. Crack the thing. Set a trap. Burn it down.
A suggestion.
Yes, Grog. The
Right,
best.
so the white dragon is primal, right? He likes to hunt creatures.
Sure. We could be a creature.
No, we gotta go now. We leave. We leave them alone. That way we're not in danger, they're not in danger. We promise to come back, not only with forces to help remove the white dragon, but also with something for it to hunt. That way we're not fighting it in its fucking lair.
We know a lot already.
I can pretend to be
This
a beast.
was kind of the whole point of
Scanlan,
the trip.
why would you bother
We
to pretend
found out
to be
the
a beast?
thing
If he
we
just
wanted to
finds you,
find
he'll
out.
hunt you and kill you.
We know that there are people that will work with us. We know what the terrain looks like. We know what his lair looks like, which we don't want to be in when we fight him. And we know how to get him out of it, possibly. It's a pretty successful trip.
One possibility is we could come back with Goldrick and he and I could play bait.
Yeah.
Goldrick is the wolf, right?
I think a bigger sort of.
He's a big,
Big
fucking
thing.
wolf.
Yeah.
Well, we've made allies. We've got to look at everything.
We've got
we
a
know
nice
the
sneak
terrain.
peek.
We know
Maybe-
the political terrain.
Urukhat would want to come and fight a dragon.
He might.
And I will also add that we can leave them with something.
That's what I was thinking. Maybe this isn't about destroying something. Maybe it's about planting something. If we
think you're right.
destroy anything, the dragon's gonna immediately
No, something was
blame,
here.
and they're gonna blame the locals.
Yeah.
What would we leave? I don't want them able to scry on us.
How about a lot of wine?
How about a small grove of trees?
How about
Oh.
I could leave trees.
They did want trees.
I could leave trees too.
Pine trees.
We also have this
Trees.
this scrying eye. Can I use this remotely?
No, you have to have it in your hands to utilize it.
Balls.
It's all right.
I like the tree idea.
Yeah, we could
Tuma,
plant it out behind.
just in case something happens and a big red dragon comes to pick a fight, everyone hide. Get out of the way.
I appreciate the advice. I can guarantee you there would be no other course of action.
Can we carve in the lair like Thordak was here or something?
They'll know it was you.
I think we got the information that we can
Tuma.
get right now.
I know.
Forgive me, I'm not the
understand
best
urge.
speaker.
We're here.
But we have learned from
can
fighting
steal
these
some
dragons
gold.
that if we fight them in their lair, we are at a severe disadvantage.
Then get it from its lair.
We are of a mind on that.
What kind of creatures do you offer to it for hunt?
It has grown bored with dire beasts. We've even brought it to the ocean, where there was some great terrors beneath the sea, but it tore them asunder.
Oh.
There is, northward, large segmented insect-like creatures. They call them Emaras. That was a scuffle, but I fear the dragon goes bored.
Gotta go find us a beast and bring it here.
Oh no, no! I've got a better idea. But that's
Spit it out.
once we've gathered some resources. When we return, we prepare to attack post-hunt. Once it has exhausted itself on something large and angry, that is when you strike the dragon.
How will we be able to communicate with them for them to let us know?
We'll be here the whole time.
When we come back, we stay
Okay.
until it's time.
Okay.
When we come back, it is to end this.
For now, we leave a backdoor entrance with the tree.
With the trees, we will know how to return quickly with a force.
This might be something we go to the Slayer's Take for.
Yes.
They always have a roster of big beasts.
They do. Mostly
They can
dead,
perhaps
though.
even keep you. With a little bit of information, we could even keep them informed of things for it to kill that they may find around here. If with the Slayer's Stakes help, we can keep you in supply of things to amuse it.
I trust you know what you say. These words mean nothing to me.
We are sorry that this cannot end as quickly as would be agreeable. We can do our best to help make you comfortable. And if you need some proof of the power that we will wield, we can offer a token.
What?
If you would, I have a thought, but if you wish a token, of our power.
How about this? I trust you to return. Let's set time, so we know where the limits are. 8 days.
Oh wow.
Sure.
That's soon.
Super fast.
Just gotta find a beast.
Our
and come
travel, well, we can send a beast before perhaps, but our travel is long. We may need more time.
Yes, this is still not.
We have 2 more continents.
How much time do you need?
2 weeks.
2 weeks.
For what?
2 weeks.
Continents. Further than you have walked in your life. We move quickly, but there is only so much that can be done.
2 weeks. 14 sun cycles past. If we do not hear from you, the frigid doom is known. To this white stone you speak.
Fucking shit, balls, Scanlan.
Oh, they're extorting us.
Not extorting. Making sure you are of your word. Because otherwise you leave us here to die on promises that are fake and false.
Yeah, well, tomato, yeah.
We don't do that.
Good. Then we'll see you before 2 weeks is out.
I will leave you with a parting gift. I will leave you with a grove of trees that should be ever growing and present.
If you do that, he'll know something is different.
He will.
No.
Don't
we
do it,
plant 1 tree.
Yeah, one
Wait.
tree.
One?
No, we have to plant some trees. Find a place that is secret.
I can plant these trees anywhere. Just need solid ground.
If you can get away from the city.
I can possibly do it subterranean.
There is solid ground here, up there above the ravine, where else you need it to be.
Where it
Where
will be
does the-
hidden.
Yeah, where does the dragon not tread? Where do you know he will not see the trees?
Probably out of the ravine. He stalks inside quite extensively.
Let's find a place. This will be where we leave anyway.
Okay.
Tuma, I have one more question about Gurn Blanston.
Yes.
I raise the hand cone and I cast Modify Memory on her.
Oh,
Why?
Oh, man. I love it.
Look at Matt's face.
Okay.
We're about to get attacked.
Yeah.
No, we're about to run.
I'm gonna roll my initiative
About
in
to
advance.
run.
There we go. All right, what's the DC?
21.
What are you trying to do?
I'm trying to change
Ultimate question.
the moment that I said Whitestone into Iman.
You watch as she leans in, and she kind of shakes her head for a minute and goes, "What was your question? Do not know these words you speak."
Candles. Have you ever met a candle maker?
Oh, I know not of a candle maker.
I do have.
Amazing.
I have a request on our way out.
What is your request?
Would the dragon noticed if any of these bodies were disturbed?
Many, yes,
Never mind then.
but small amounts. Why? You wish to take what they have, they mean nothing to us. 1 or 2 turned over will make no difference to the dragon.
Just pull that one down then.
Right. She points to it. Some of the Ravenites come over
Quiet, all of you.
and haul one of the
Make
corpses
no-
off of the spike.
No sound.
It breaks off and snaps, and they bring it and throw it to the ground and step back.
Thank you. It is exactly what I expect, I would assume.
The robes are familiar.
All right.
Scale color's familiar.
I
look it over. I check.
They're locked in the moments of valiant defense of his city, frozen and lost. The remains of Tiberius Stormwind. Left a hero defending his people. Defaced by Voragal, the Frigid Doom.
Let's bring him inside at least.
Yeah. I go and I gather the remains.
They are stiff and frozen, but light enough for you to carry.
Where are we taking him?
I don't know. The remnants of the library, perhaps. The ground's too hard to bury.
We can't even pretend like he was our friend.
No. We absolutely cannot.
I have a horrible thought. If we move him, will the dragon know we were here?
Is he on one of those stakes?
He was.
Tumor says no.
No, I checked. Unless he's very clever and very keen, and I don't think they are. I think that if they knew, he would be in a more exalted position of defacement. I think this is just slaughter. Things vanish. I'm all right with making this vanish. That's as much of a calling card as I feel we need to leave.
Where should we bring him?
His home doesn't really exist anymore.
His home was with us.
Back to Imon.
I have a thought.
To our keep.
He should have
It was
never.
very important to him.
It was.
This is his place.
We are not bringing him to us. We're leaving him here, but we're putting him somewhere appropriate.
We take him away. Can you melt the ice and snow? And we will lay him here.
Put him with the books.
Yeah, we slept them.
At the box.
For now, anyway. And then when we free this place, we can find a proper tomb for him.
Do for now.
Why don't we take him back to where the frozen books lay?
You find the remnants of the library. So you find a section of the stone rubble that's loose enough. You pull it open, and there beneath you can see there are hundreds and hundreds of books. Many still pristine, but a little soggy from the melted snow. And you gather probably a lot of time was spent in this library in his youth, and it's probably as good a place as any to leave his memory for the time.
Are any of the Ravenites around us, or are we alone?
They're keeping their distance, but they're watching. You get the sense that they understand what's going on, but they're not taking any offense to it.
This will do.
I start pulling books out.
I stopped melting ice.
Is Lockheed still on my shoulder?
Lockheed is still on your shoulder.
Bring him down so he can say goodbye.
As the ice melts and color comes to the body, you can see the tattered robes that show a fierce battle was fought. And regardless of this condition of finding him,
Knowing him as well as you did, he's still probably left a hero. As you lay him down in the books, mostly thought now Lockheed finds a moment of recognition and immediately flutters onto his chest and kind of curls up, mews a bit, nibbles at the chin.
I'm going to sit 3 or 4 feet away from him, facing him, and start privately thanking the Raven Queen for ushering him on.
I'm going to take a chalice out of the bag of holding, and I begin to fill it with ale, and then remember, he preferred water. And I take the alchemy jug and I pour fresh water into the chalice and lay it with him.
I take and I rip off a piece of his robes, tuck it away.
Can you seal it? As you guys step back, the nearby stone clatters to life.
I get Lockheed out of there. I don't want him to stay in.
Lockheed,
Do you want to come?
Lockheed resists and resists and doesn't want to leave.
Darling.
Lockheed.
In Draconic, I say, it's all right.
Lockheed kind of curls up onto his face and kind of just nibbles a bit on the forehead. And turns back and flutters up onto your shoulder. The stonework clatters closed over the top of the rubble of the library.
Keyleth drops to her knees and starts crying.
Vax, in this moment of sadness, there is a bit of warmth as you sense, the remote as it is, through the divine gate, that the Raven Queen's assurance that his spirit has made it to the other side.
I go put my hand on Keyleth's shoulder. He loved you well, Princess.
He was so stupid.
Well.
I'm gonna find Tuma. Is she behind us?
Should have never left our side.
Hopefully this war will go on schedule.
We'll avenge
But
him.
there's our promise. And that's the best you're going to get. I'm gonna head out.
We'll avenge you.
I just turn around and say, goodbye, old friend. We'll come back and we'll fix this. Because this is poppycock.
As you gather yourselves up here amongst the ruins of Draconia, the last of the sky's light, the sun, has faded and the night has taken its form. You hear the distant caws of the evening birds as they begin to take the skies above the ravine. Tuma and the rest of the Ravenites give a nod as you join hands. Keyleth?
Let's go home.
Yes, let's. There's much to do.
Back to Whitestone.
Were you going to leave a tree?
Yeah.
We
Can I do
let them know where the grove
The
could be
trees.
found before we left them.
And I do plant growth
Okay.
to make a big old tree.
Alrighty. Where do you create the tree?
wherever we decided it was best to create the trees.
Outside of the ravine.
Outside the ravine at the top of the
above
ravine.
and
A little
outside
grove
the
of
ravine.
trees.
Yeah.
Which, with the simple use of the room or a wild shape, you can make your way up there. You find a small patch of bushes, create a single tree that didn't exist there previously. A small sapling now grown to full height. A bastion of a promise to be kept. Gilith returns. You take hands. You step through the nearest tree as the portal opens and find yourself emerging from the other side of the sun tree back in Whitestone.
I give the sun tree a little pat.
The morning sun just begins to rise.
We'll report what we've seen. We'll try and gain our bearings again and get sleep tonight. We'll report what we've seen in the new room. No one else.
Aye.
And we will never utter the city's name outside these walls again.
Ever.
Totally. Dick move.
Find yourselves to rest, keeping memories fresh till sleep takes you. You begin the next length of your journey for the next
Knock
vestige.
on Vax's door.
Oh, God.
I don't want to wait.
All right, as everyone else is going to rest, Keyleth, you find your way to Vax's door.
Can I stay with you tonight?
I don't fuck anything up with words, and I open the door.
What?
I'm not gonna fuck it up by saying anything. Okay. I said, and I open the door.
I'm just going.
Okay. Whether or not you're taking time to sleep or just ruminate on the events, as it's only been half a day since last you woke up. You just take some time with Lockheed. He eats a little more food and leaps to the window of your room and then takes out over the rest of Whitestone. You process this time, this moment, this memory, and realize how much has been lost through this journey, but yet how much is worth saving, how much is worth fighting for. And that as much as you, bunch of fuck-up misfits that came together as friends years ago, have come to a point of understanding your true worth and what the importance is of really standing up for the things you believe in this world and the people that need protecting. And with that, the next step of your journey should come soon. Whether you stand or fall, this is the fight that needs to be fought. And with luck be your side, that terrible fucking dragon will meet its end soon enough. And with that, we'll pick up next week on Thursday.
Glad we decided to take a lighthearted game.
It's a fun romp after Feywild. It's a fun romp.
Bar hop, bar crawl.
Bar crawl.
Bar crawl.
Yeah, man.
Jesus. Really nice.
I need a stiff drink.
Simultaneously looking forward to and not looking forward to the return to Draconia for that reason.
Man.
We'll pick it up next week, guys.
Yay.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Sorry, guys. Sorry to you.
Thanks, Loot Crate.
Thanks, Loot Crate.
$3 discount.
Not all.
Won't pour one out for Tibbs. We will
Yeah,
be.
man.
Right.
Well, not all narrative is bright,
That's true.
but it has its purpose.
We're next.
We love you guys. Thank you for sticking through us for an emotionally ringing evening. Be back next Thursday to see the next length of Vox Machina's journey. Is it Thursday yet?
Bye.
Good night.